Trust the guardians, trust the guides, trust the open and what's inside. When the moon is high, it's time to fly. Open your mind, let it all unwind. Let's get disengaged, time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged. When you feel like you've had enough and the week was busy and tough, you need a break, you need some fun. You need to take time from the run. We'll blow your mind. We're just in time. Seek and ye shall find. Time to unwind. Let's get disenraged. Time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged. Aliens, ghosts, spirits in the shadows, spirituality, ultra reality, the Bible, the pagans, all the conspiracies, tarot, astrology, and alternate history. Open your heart to other possibilities and get disenraged. Time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged, 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 disenraged.
Hey, Jennifer. Happy Tuesday. How are you?
Happy Tuesday, Karlyn. I'm good. Get him good. And then, oh, I just put our camper up for sale.
Oh, yeah? It's exciting. You're getting a nice new camper.
Well, we got it. It's waiting for us. Yeah.
Sweet.
How are you?
I don't know. It's been a weird week. I wasn't feeling great yesterday because we went to the reenactment and I got all sunburnt because I'm Irish and I can't go anywhere without getting sunburned when the sun is out. It's just the way it goes. And so I was just like really sluggish and lazy yesterday, and I was like, I can't do it today. It's just like one of those where it takes everything out of you. And so I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty good. I was actually cranking on a book last night, and I hadn't worked on this book in a minute, and so it kind of felt like really good. And I kind of went down a rabbit hole, and I wrote a whole chapter on like a historical event that I didn't know about, so I had to research it and learn it and all this stuff, and that was pretty rad. So
which book is this now?
This is the Queer Marxism book. So I have basically 3, possibly 4 books I want to get done or close to done by the end of the year. And the Queer Marxism book is specifically about the evolution of queer Marxism as like a distinct form that is separate from like traditional Marxism, socialism, communism, whatever. And you know what I found out is this started back in the 50s. I thought it was the 60s. No, I was wrong. It started back in the 50s. And do you know why it started? Because the Communist Party USA, and I don't mean to make this about socialism, but it's interesting. The Communist Party USA was very Stalinist in its operations back then. And basically, Stalin didn't like gay people. And Stalin thought it was a bourgeois thing to be gay and it was disruptive to the proletariat or whatever. And so gay people within the CPUSA, they kind of felt like they didn't belong. And so they basically 5 gay men in Los Angeles got together and they created this thing called the Mattachine Society, which was about being gay communists. And then they accidentally became a gay rights organization. And then they were like, no, but we're communists. And then they basically, the leadership of the organization got kicked out because so many gay people joined the organization, but they didn't join it to be communist. They joined it for like normal kind of like
association,
gay
yeah.
gay rights stuff, like, hey,
Sure,
we don't want to
yeah.
be treated like shit. And then the leadership was like, oh, but we're communists, and the gay people were like, well, we're not communists. And so it was just kind of like this weird thing that it actually started because they got ostracized from the Communist Party USA,
And then they
in the
ostracized
50s.
the communists. Well, you
Yeah.
know, but that, I mean, you said he thought it was kind of bougie, and that makes sense because isn't the bourgeoisie the people who own property, own businesses, and self-ownership? And being gay or queer or defining who you are is self-ownership, and of course they can't tolerate that.
Yeah.
So
So it was kind of a anyway, I was like really productive and I was really happy about it. I made a whole bunch of progress on that book. I have it all outlined now.
nice.
And so now I'm feeling actually pretty good about it. But I do have, and I know we're going to talk about rocks again tonight, and I'm really I'm actually really excited for that Stonehenge video that we're going to watch, but the other videos look
really
cool
good.
too.
Yeah.
But I have quite. I need you to be a psychic for me for a minute. I need a therapy session. I need a live on the internet, which you know,
Oh, God.
nothing could go wrong with this particular plan.
Mm-mm.
We need to talk about the Pisces, who has now elevated. Like it's so funny because he used to be Pisces number 3, and now he has elevated himself not only to Pisces number 1, but to the Pisces position, where it's like I'm not even worried about the other ones anymore.
Yeah.
It's too nice, Jennifer. He's being too happy, and he's being too nice, and it's kind of like I'm gonna show you what I mean. I'm gonna show you what I mean. Okay. So this whole thing started a couple weeks ago when I had you when we were gonna go to war and we were gonna fight with each other on the internet, and he thought he was saying I was possessed by a demon and all this stuff. And
No,
now,
a demon feeds off your anger.
yeah, or
whatever.
yeah, like whatever fun story he came up with, and I put a spell on him, and but then it just like it all leveled out, and it's actually kind of been he's talked about me a couple times, and when he does it, he like laughs and smiles, and I'm like, what is going on? And the thing of it is I just want to show you a couple quick clips because you need to get a sense of what's going on.
I'm pulling cards as they're coming out of my deck while we're talking.
Excellent.
I'm doing something a little bit different here than I normally do.
So we watched this a little bit on Socialism Saturday, and I'm just going to show you a little bit of this. But basically, here's the weirdest thing that happened. So I had a little voice in the back of my head the other night go, tune into his stream, and I was kind of like, I don't want to. But then I did because, you know, you follow the intuition, whatever.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes of me opening his stream, he started talking about my content, and he started teaching people stuff that he learned from watching one of my streams.
Wow.
And he got it right, and he
Ooh.
listened, and I was like,
He's a smart guy. I've said it before. He's a smart dude. He just he puts on the asshole mask to get attention.
Yeah, I was shocked. So I just want to play you this, and I want you to hear it for yourself. This is a little bit of it.
Oh, I'm excited.
Big Tech, you've been watching Karlyn? Well, I got hip to all these ideas back. Like, remember we started collabing on some stuff, so I already understood the position. I did see one of her streams. What it was like last week, because she was, you know, I was going through the section that was about me because I was looking to see if it was something I needed to respond to. And it wasn't, but it flowed right into this thing where she went, all right. And the next thing is she started playing some speech, like some gay guy was reading that was from like the gay handbook from the 80s or something like that. There's like this main letter that they all passed around or something. It's like, if you're gay, read this, the kind of thing.
Queers read this.
It was all about capitalism. It's weird.
It was weird.
So all the way back to the 80s, for like 40, 50 years, these, like the queer movement has been an sort of coded anti-capitalist communist movement. And while we might already know that, I hadn't heard this one document yet, and the guy reading it, and it was, so it's sort of like, it's fresh in my mind while I'm watching The Matrix last night.
So he started watching a stream of mine because I was talking about him at the beginning, and then he kept listening, Jennifer. He kept listening, and he kept learning. And so then he reacted to my reaction.
Really an attack on private property itself. The idea of like private ownership of your family, like you treating your family like
she's so proud.
yours.
She's so proud of me.
Gives rise to this idea, well, if my family's mine, then
and he seems happy there. And then also in his stream, like where the fuck is it? I'm gonna literally add this to the intro. He could have been so evil when someone in his chat asked this question, but no, he wasn't evil. Hang on.
Who the fuck is Karlyn? She's just some
Just some sweet lady. She's like in a knitting. She does like a knitting stream. She's like a knitting YouTuber. She does knitting.
How long ago was that?
That was like the other day.
He just said you're a sweet lady who's on a knitting stream.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you're not on a knitting stream, but you are a sweet lady.
I'm also not very sweet, if we're being honest about it. But like
you are to the people who count.
True. My point is this, though. I kind of like, at first I was kind of like, okay, this is everything I wanted. I just wanted things to be nice. I just wanted the energy to level out. And now, and I was kind of like, okay, well, maybe we're not going to be fighting on the internet. That would actually be pretty rad. And now I've been sitting with it for a couple days. And so what's happened? I'm kind of like, it's one of those things where I'm like,
getting in your head.
What's going on? It's like I don't have kids, obviously, but I imagine if the kids were so quiet and they were doing what I wanted them to do, but then they were just quiet, I would be like, what's going on? Where's the other shoe? Like, are we going to start fighting again? Is there going to be some sort of big fuck off blow up because like it's nice and someone has to ruin it? And it could be me that ruins it, by the way. It absolutely could be me. I'm not just saying him. I sabotage things just as much as the next person.
Oh, I'm giving it a 50-50 chance. Yeah.
Like one of us is going to do something. So what's going to happen? Jennifer, I need advice. What is going to happen in this? I need a prediction. I'm freaking out. I'm not actually freaking out that much, but
okay. We are having a little trust issue.
Yes, we are absolutely having a trust issue.
So, disclaimer for those who haven't seen me do cards before, I do intuitive readings. I do not go by the meaning of the card. We have his reputation as a charming, shifty little shit.
That looks like him too.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Yo.
And then you are the warrior going in saying, hey, I'm standing up for myself. I'm finally learning how to do it. I've been trying to figure out how to do this for 3 years, almost 4 years, and now I'm finally figuring it out. And you are not going to get in my fucking way. So everybody needs to chill the fuck out.
Temperance. Okay, I like temperance. Temperance is a good card in this situation, I feel like.
Now, that was the reading. That's what I was getting the vibes as I was listening to that. So, give me a straight question. Is he being honest? Like, is he being, I'll be more specific. Is he being honest? Is he being shifty? Is he coming around? Because remember the last reading we did, I said you guys would keep fighting, but then one of you would go, okay, we've gone too far. And then you would start working together against a common enemy. So this is either because I think we both kind of went where this has gone too far when he was reacting to our stream and people were insulting both of us and stuff. And now it's like, it's getting personal. That happened last week. Now it's like, he's starting to see your point, and he doesn't have to think you're the sweetest, greatest, like strawberry shortcake in the entire world to work with you or agree with you. There are people I don't like that I agree with.
You know what? Honestly, I don't even care if he works with me or agrees with me. I
don't mean work as in your jobs on the internet. I mean work with your content.
Oh. Well, even then, like, I actually don't even really care if he works with my content. I just don't want there to be nonsense and fighting and bickering and constant worrying and stabbing in the back and all that stuff. Like, that's like what I do not want at all anymore.
What do you want?
Okay, what I like, a baseline of what I want is I just want the energy to be lighter. I don't want there to be tension. I don't want there to be nitpicky and like bickering and stuff. I just want it to be nice. I want it to be like a thing that I don't have to worry about.
Okay, I'm seeing introspection. I am seeing definitely a lack of trust on both sides. Mm-hmm. But I also see restraint. I'm also seeing neither of you really want this to get nasty, because there are more interesting, bigger things in the world to deal with. And as far as you're concerned, there's bigger fish to fry. And as he's learning about your content, so these are, okay, so I pulled 6 cards as you were talking, and there's 3 that remind me of you and 3 that remind me of him. And so this is, I do inverted. So this is an inverted, to me, this is someone who is not restraining themselves. Mm-hmm. If it was this way, I'd be like, you're calm, you're pensive, you're thinking, and I would start looking for symbolism. But since we're doing this on the fly and being very quick and not too detailed, I feel like this is your radical side that jumps out, your temper. He doesn't trust that. You don't trust what a trickster he is, and he is.
Mm-hmm.
Your introspection and how you're acknowledging that it's hitting you emotionally, but you're being strong enough not to let it consume you. And you handled it with maturity, which was awesome. And he is having introspection, kind of being alone with his thoughts, kind of going, okay, do I want to break stuff or do I want to work with stuff? Do I want to create or do I want to destroy? And that's that trickster nature, because he loves doing both and he does love tearing people down. However, the truth is the truth. And when it's surrounding him, he cannot deny it.
What does that mean?
I think it means that when he finds something in his mind or heart that he thinks is true, and he sees something and goes, that's right, that's the truth, he won't shit on it for the sake of shitting on it. I think he respects honesty and the truth. So when we're talking about communism, Marxism, socialism, he respects the truth that you give about that, and he's not going to shit on you for it. So that's where I'm not saying you're going to work together.
Mm-hmm.
You're all going to be individuals in this. But I mean, the two of you are still going to do what you need to do to bring the money in. Even though I'm seeing this something about a time of scarcity is hitting me here. So I'm not sure what that all means. It could just mean that you guys are going to leave each other alone. It's scarcity and what? Now, Pentacles, of course, is hearth and home and finance. But if you're talking about your own personal, speaking of self-ownership, that hearth and home, that introspection, you need to be left alone so that you can work and do your how do I say that in English? You're more effective, most effective when you're left alone, have no distractions, and can focus on your job, your message, and just get it out. And I feel like he might see that too.
Okay. So in other words, you're saying that I don't really like it. It actually just could be. I'm waiting for another shoe to drop that might not drop. Is kind of what I'm hearing. And maybe like I don't want to be anticipating that a shoe's going to drop, because then I might. I'm talking from myself now. I'm not saying you said this. Maybe I don't want to be anticipating that another shoe's going to drop if it's not going to, because I might inadvertently sabotage it by jumping the gun, because I am never a hothead. That never happens. But I might sometimes be if I'm frustrated or I'm annoyed or I'm trying to preempt an attack. And if the attack isn't coming, then I don't need to worry about it.
I think what he's going to realize that the message is more important than turning people away from you, and that maybe he's doing a disservice by shitting on you.
I don't know if that. I don't know. Like, I never really saw him as having much ability to impact my work beyond inadvertently. Like, okay, so last time we were fighting, he did actually significantly impact something that related to me that I didn't really want to actually have changed, and I was pretty pissed off about it. He didn't mean to do it. He didn't, like, it wasn't something he purposefully did. He didn't mean to do it, but it happened as a result of what he did. And so I guess that was the situation I wanted to avoid, which is like, okay, he's flailing around, he's making fun of me, he's doing like whatever. I mean, I can't control any of that. I just didn't want him to hit something I actually cared about, because that did happen last time and it really pissed me off.
I wonder, the other part of me goes, because I'm feeling the confusion, but I don't think there's any decision. He's just flying, he's just taking it as it comes in and shooting it out randomly. Yeah. And so it is possible that he is playing nice, because the whole big deal about you putting a spell on him. So he might be playing nice just to make you think your spell is working. Or that could be the effect of the spell too. I mean, it's sort of like you can't really prove one or the other. And he might turn around and all of a sudden he might just, all over again and smack you right up the butt. But I don't know. I feel like he's very proud. He's very self-confident. But yeah, it's that flipping thing. I think just the best thing to do is stay out of each other's way. Let content be content. Yeah, he's got, wow, I'm getting a lot of arrogance.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he does have that. But he thinks I have that too, so, whatever.
Yeah, I'm getting like you've got your singular vision is coming through now, and you don't want to be distracted and destroyed by all the crap around you that could fall apart. You're like, I'm done. I need focus. I need to be the presenter that I can be, with the best source of knowledge to give that to people so they have the best opportunity of soaking it up, because I have other things I need to focus on and I don't have time for your fucking attitude. And that's coming from you. And I'm not going to read what's coming from him. I don't feel like he means harm, but I think the trickster aspect definitely needs to be just put in the back of your head. I don't know if I don't think he's not actively going to hurt you or attack you this time. That's not going to happen. It's like varying degrees of the disagreements. They're dissipating. The way that's like, if he does anything again, it's not going to hurt you as badly. It's not going to hurt you at all. It's just going to go like what happened this last time. You're like, oh my God, look at this. I think it's going to be, and also I think he really does respect your work.
Okay, well then that honestly probably the best reading you could give me is you're saying that I don't actually really need to be worried about this, that he might still be up to something or he might try something, but it's not like a malicious thing. It's just him being him and like whatever. And
let
you know
him
what?
have that in his
that's
little
actually
world.
good because like I mean I don't know. I really felt like I was like what is going? It's like something that's too nice, and I'm like why. Sort of thing.
That was fake when he was like, she's a sweet girl. Like
oh my God,
so
I saw that.
up.
I was like, oh bro. Like, but at the same time he could have said any number of things that were far more evil than that. Yep. And he gave me a clip that I can use on my streams, which I actually think is kind of funny and irreverent in some ways.
Kindness begets kindness, and I don't consider him necessarily a kind person. But as I said, I'll stand by it even after I saw that stream, because I did watch it, and I told you that.
I told you not to watch it.
No, I watched it. I wanted to see, and
I'm used to that in that environment,
Oh, honey, I was bullied for years as a growing up, and like most of my life I was bullied. And then I was in 2 abusive relationships. I know from bullies, and he is just mostly the cruelty was in the troglodytes in his chat.
Oh, I know. That's the part that, I agree with that. And it's just like, you know what? It's like, it's unnecessary toxicity. Honestly.
I agree. Well, it's compounding. One person starts it, then they start like, who can up it and make it worse, and who can say the worst, grossest, what's grosser than gross. It's like those jokes.
And they're all doing it to try to impress him. And it's like, okay.
It's just a little cesspool for toxicity. And I think, unfortunately, people who don't have a very strong identity or aren't sure where they belong get caught up in that. And now they're a reflection of it. Now they start playing into it and they start being cruel when they probably aren't really those kinds of people. And he just thinks it's funny. But, most Pisces don't often consider the real world repercussions of some of their actions.
Yeah, real. Very real. Across all Pisces. Okay, that's enough information, Jennifer. Thank you for doing a psychic reading for me. I appreciate it. Those are nice cards.
Thank you. That's my Cosmic Tarot.
I like that one.
They're a good general reader. I love them.
It's very serene.
They are, and the imagery is there's something about it that I love all the details in it. And if you and I sat down and we actually got into all the nitty gritty of it instead of just the vibes, they're very specific when they want to be. They're great.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. We got a bunch of videos to watch.
Oh boy. I stacked you up.
You did stack me up. So we're going to be continuing with what we started last week, guys, which is like the megalithic sites of like the giant stones and all that stuff. And so Jennifer has put together several videos for us to watch. Jennifer, do you want to talk to us about all of this?
Well, I wanted to. I am really interested in Göbekli Tepe. There's a lot of others that are out there that are, especially like in Peru. I think Peru and Turkey are the 2, I think, most interesting ancient societal sites. Mm-hmm. The thing with Göbekli Tepe is they've only excavated about 5 to 10% of it per their estimations. And the Turkish government is shutting down excavations. Nobody knows why. They're saying maybe we'll allow it for our children in the future in 100 years. And it's like, why? What are you hiding?
Why?
It doesn't make any sense. Then on top of it, they've planted fields of olive trees over the other sites. The roots are going to destroy the sites, and it's illegal to cut down olive trees in Turkey.
Wow. So they're really trying to hide something.
Yeah. And it's really sad. There are a few other tepes. Tepe just means hill. So there are a few other tepes in the region where there are other structures. There are all these structures, and but the way that this has so shoddily been handled is enraging archaeologists worldwide. But one thing I love about Graham Hancock is he gets into this can be dated again to the Younger Dryas, which we'll have to go through another time. But it looks like this site was built to record events in stone and then covered for protection.
No kidding.
And that's what's, I think, is the most interesting thing about this. Not to mention how freaking ancient it is. I mean, you're looking at something that's 12, 13,000 years old. And then the other ones, we've got Stonehenge. We've got Puma Punku, which is in Peru. And you could go on and on. You could do hours and hours and days and days and days of videos. And I have researched all of these. And plus I watch Ancient Aliens, which I love. But I do the archaeological scientific background and the ancient alien background. I don't see why they can't agree. But anyway, there's just so much. And then from there, we're going to hit Stonehenge, which has a really, really fun video that I found. I think that one's going to be the funnest. And after that, we're going to hit America. And we're going to look at the stones in Montana that are like those molded stones. And also the Serpent Mound in Ohio.
I'm excited to end on the Serpent Mound because I want to learn more about that. See, I don't know that much about all this stuff. I knew about the stuff in Peru because I went to Peru, obviously. But like, I don't really know that much about the rest of it. Well, I went to Stonehenge too, I guess. So I've been there. But the rest of it's kind of like a mystery to me. So this is all new.
I was in England when I was 16 and I wanted to go to Stonehenge, but like, of course, we were in the crazy Christian cult and it was like, that's a pagan site. We're not going to go see that. Oh, yeah, I could have.
It's cool, man. Like the weird thing about Stonehenge, too, is like you're literally just, I'll get your super chat in a second, Tooth. Sorry about that. So you're literally just driving down the highway and then all of a sudden, boom, there's Stonehenge.
Well, and doesn't the road actually go through one of the outer circles too? Because there's like 3 rings to Stonehenge.
I mean, the road is very close to where it is. Like,
yeah.
You can like definitely see it from there. Let me get that super chat. Sorry about that, Naruto. How could you do this to me, Karlyn? I hate the Matrix now and Keanu Reeves is a socialist. Yeah, we're all mourning that particular loss. Also the fault of big tech, but that's okay. Like I said, like that was actually kind of like a nice like thing that he was talking about my stuff, so whatever. Anyway,
I hope you guys end up just being like haha frenemies. I think that would just be really fun.
See, I think that would actually be the most fun thing too, but I'm just like nerd. I just want to be nice.
Let it happen naturally.
Bullshit, man.
I think you asked for a reading tonight because you're afraid you're forcing your own energy on it because of the cycles and you're breaking a cycle, and I'm really proud of you for that.
I really just want everything to be nice. I know like people might not believe me when I say that because I can also, I can provoke and I can yell and I can be a little bit of a handful, but like I genuinely just like I have so much shit to do, and even though it is kind of fun with me to fight with him sometimes, it's also just not. I don't want it to be mean and bitter is the thing. Play fighting is different than mean and bitter fighting.
Totally, I get it.
Anyway,
kind of like the whole time it's not real thing.
Yes, exactly. It's like we fight, but is it real fighting? No, it's not actually real fighting. We actually don't really care. No. So anyway, so we're putting him over here. We're putting him back in the freezer. We're watching shows about big rocks now. Rocks. All right, should we just jump right into it and see what's going on here? Now we only have to watch like the first 27 minutes of this.
Yeah,
you said, right?
Then he starts doing kind of a round table, and I mean, unless you're really interested in the intellectual smarminess of the very, very, very good, awesome scientific archaeological 3 dudes that are talking, it's kind of like not where we're going for this particular show. So we just get to where he's done with his presentation, then we can move on.
Cool. Well, let's jump into it and let's talk about the thing I can't pronounce. I can't pronounce it.
Göbekli Tepe.
Göbekli Tepe. All right.
Thank you.
All right, Graham Hancock.
Thank you.
He's one of my favorites.
Sorry if I'm a bit croaky this morning. I think I did a lot of talking yesterday. So I'm going to give a shortish talk now about Göbekli Tepe and why it matters. And then I'm going to be joined on stage by Jimmy Corsetti.
It goes over acres and acres, but they've only excavated a little bit.
Wow.
They've both just returned from Göbekli Tepe, where they've seen outrageous things. And we're going to be talking about what's been happening there. But I'm going to set that up with this initial presentation about why I think Göbekli Tepe matters. And there it is before the recent roof covering, which has completely destroyed the atmosphere of the site. You can see the beauty and the majesty of it, this extraordinary megalithic site, which is 7,000 years older than Stonehenge, and which appears virtually out of nowhere with no obvious background, whereas Stonehenge has a very long, detailed background. And again, I showed this slide yesterday. I just want to pay tribute again to Klaus Schmidt, the late, great Klaus Schmidt, the kind of archaeologist I wish there were more of them in the world. He was such a good man, so open-hearted and so passionate about his subject. And it's shameful the way his successors are trying to undo every aspect of his work. This is the Istanbul Chronicle, and Klaus Schmidt's wife is quoted in here because she's horrified by what's happening as well. The Istanbul Chronicle wants to be accessible to everyone, provide readers with news that's objective, clear, and unbiased. Basically, after Klaus Schmidt's passing in 2014, excavation efforts at Göbekli Tepe stopped. And then in 2016, project management was transferred to the Dogus Group, a prominent Turkish conglomerate. And we'll go into the implications of that. But a couple of remarks from Klaus Schmidt's widow. She's also an archaeologist. She visits Göbekli Tepe annually. She was shocked by the changes. She has described the situation as absurd and has shared unseen photos of the road construction on Instagram, sparking further conflict among the archaeological community. In the light of these developments, the site's official opening date for tourism has been announced. This announcement symbolizes how the government's intention with Göbekli Tepe is fully economic, meaning no archaeological development is intended for any time soon, raising concerns in the archaeology community. And then shortly after, Klaus Schwab, founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, made a statement declaring that the Göbekli Tepe excavation has been left for future generations.
No shit.
The most important archaeological
Why
site
is
in
he
the
even
world
involved?
is no longer going to be excavated. It's been left for future generations.
They're hiding
and this
something.
Statement has been interpreted.
That is the most bizarre thing of this entire thing. Why is Klaus Schwab and the WEF involved at all in this?
Exactly. And the fact when they also worked with the Egyptian government to halt excavations in Egypt under the Sphinx because a chamber was found and they won't allow anyone to open it.
Yo.
Mm-hmm. I'm
interpreted
telling
by
you, there's
some,
ancient shit that we should know because it is the history of us that they are hiding because they don't want us to know the truth.
including me, as an admission of the cessation of ongoing archaeological work. So critics question how the Dogus Group has been given such privileges in the light of the stopped excavations and the alleged damage to the site. Ultimately, since 2016, all excavation work at Göbekli Tepe, a site of extreme historical significance, has reportedly been stopped. We've got the roof over the site. We have this whole...
Go ahead.
So that he's about to talk about this a little bit, but I just want you guys to look at this. Like, first impressions. Hey, how cool. They gave us a covered protective structure. They're protecting the structure from weather. We get to go visit it. It looks super cool. I mean, the first time I saw this, I was like, wow, that's so cool that they did that. You know, and then I realized they're drilling into the site for the supports for this structure. And they are more concerned with tourism than they are the history. They're ruining the site by doing this. But he'll go on about that. But it's like at first impressions, like, oh, that's cool. And it's like, oh, wait. But by doing this, they're destroying the site and preventing further archaeology to happen.
Historical significance has reportedly been stopped. We've got the roof over the site. We have this whole problem with trees. And thank you to Jimmy Cossetti for drawing attention to the issue of the trees, those olive trees parked. You know, we know that there are hundreds more megalithic pillars under the ground and huge circles of them under the ground which have never been excavated. And those trees were planted directly on top of precious archaeological sites with their roots going down into the archaeological sites and destroying them. And that would have carried on if Jimmy Cossetti had not drawn attention to this. When he drew attention, when Jimmy drew attention to the harm being done by these bloody trees, he was initially attacked by the archaeological community who tried to calm our fears and say there's no problem with the trees. They're not going to do any damage.
Look at all those trees. That's over a site.
And as the exposure of what's happening at Göbekli Tepe continued, suddenly, one day, they cut down all the trees. Yeah, it shows the pressure works. It shows the pressure works. It shows we have to keep our eye on them. We need to be watching them and what they're doing with our collective heritage. Again, I'm there with Klaus Schmidt. You get a sense of the scale and the beauty of the site. This is the quarry. the large megaliths at Göbekli Tepe were not transported immense distances. Majority were quarried within 100 meters or so of the main stone circles. This is a pillar, very large, probably 50-ton T-shaped pillar, but they never continued quarrying it out because a fault was, actually multiple faults were discovered in the rock. And you can see these interesting carvings that we find all over the site. This is particularly intriguing. I find this icon of a human figure. This is an anthropomorphic figure. We don't see a fully developed head, but
Go ahead.
So if you can notice, the previous frame was a little better. It was a little closer. But there's arms and hands coming around towards the belt line of the belly of
there
this.
it is. Yep.
Yeah. That same carving, this exact same kind of figurature is seen in Easter Island, in Peru, in Japan, in Asia. It's worldwide. Don't tell me people were not in contact thousands of years ago.
Crazy. Murphy's Pool, thank you for the super chat. I once submitted 10 puns to a joke competition. I really thought with that money, one was sure to be a winner. Sadly, no pun.
No pun
and 10 did.
You're fired.
Wah, wah, wah.
Dad joke for the win. Thank you for the super
Dad
chat, Murphy.
joke.
a human figure. This is an anthropomorphic figure. We don't see a fully developed head, but the T-shaped, the T at the top represents the head of the individual, and then the individual has arms, and the hands meet just above the belt, around the navel. And that posture is actually reflected in iconography all around the world. It's a very curious thing, these so-called navel idols that are found everywhere. And of course, this is high relief. You can see that to create those fingers, the arms, the belt, they've had to cut away all the stone around it. This is very, very, very highly technical, beautiful work of sculpture. And now, covered with this monstrosity, tamed. This is what happens when archaeology gives way to tourism, that the site becomes tame. It becomes a sort of Disneyland. It becomes an exhibit. It no longer becomes a thing in itself from which we can learn. Yeah, I mean, you can see what Göbekli Tepe is, and you can do so without the rain pouring on you, I suppose. But I don't like this covering at all. I think it's very ugly and very unhelpful. And I'm so glad I was able to see and get to know the site before that happened. This shot, because the moon is in the shot, and this reminds us that for the people of Göbekli Tepe, the skies were very important. The skies were what it's all about. Everything was about astronomical, solar, and lunar alignments at Göbekli Tepe. So what this cover has done is it's disconnected Göbekli Tepe from the universe. This is a site that was meant to be connected to the universe now that it's been opened up, and it's been disconnected. Yeah, I mean, this is Giulio Magli, a great archaeoastronomer. He's studied the alignments at Göbekli Tepe, he's noting that the alignment to Sirius and the changing positions of Sirius within the site is extremely powerful and absolutely beyond dispute. Göbekli Tepe isn't alone. We first went there in 2013, Santa and I. 2014, we went to Karahan Tepe. That's what Karahan Tepe looked like in 2014. A few T-shaped pillars sticking out the side of the hill. It's now been excavated, and this is an amazing enclosure at Karahan Tepe. I'm particularly...
There you go.
Guess what this pit is actually called?
What?
Guess. Look at the rocks.
They all look like dicks.
It's called the Penis Pit.
No.
I'm not kidding. I watched a documentary on, was this Karahan Tepe? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I watched a documentary on it yesterday, and it's literally called the Penis Pit. These are all phalluses.
They just erected a whole bunch of penis. Is that what was the actual intent, or is it just a nice coincidence?
I love that you say erect. Actually... They think that it actually is meant to be phallici.
Why?
Yes. Well, I mean, if you're celebrating life, you're celebrating fertility, you're celebrating, those things, and you're not ashamed because you don't have Christian values and virtues weighing you down,
Real.
you're going to celebrate the penis, just like a lot of goddess figures have giant boobs and exaggerated vulva. I mean, you're going to celebrate the things that A, you enjoy, and B, bring life to your community.
Okay, fair enough. They celebrated the penis in this community.
As we all should.
Struck by that stone face.
I like that one.
Nekmi Karul, who I interviewed in Ancient Apocalypse and who seemed to be quite helpful, subsequently has been undoubtedly approached by Flint Dibble and others, and now has nothing to say about me but negative things. But nevertheless, he appeared on the show with me. We think that this is a snake-like head. It's a snake form with a human head that's emerging from the rock there.
Literally a penis
anyway,
head. Come on, Graham.
Karahan Tepe is now
Penis
about
head.
to have a roof covering also, and work is already underway, as Jimmy and Mike have observed, to drill down into the site and destroy the site in order to make it a tourist attraction. Just a map of the whole region. We have to understand now.
Look at all
Göbekli
those
Tepe
sacred
is
sites.
not alone. The Turkish archaeologists are right when they talk about the Tas-Tepeler civilization, the Stone Hills civilization. There's an emergence all around Göbekli Tepe of sites that date back to that same horizon about 12,000 years ago. And not just Göbekli Tepe. That same culture is found over on Cyprus. That means we're dealing with people who were navigators and seafarers. Cyprus was always an island. Even at the peak of the last ice age, it's surrounded by great deeps. And down into the Jordan Valley as well. And Abu Huraira, as I showed you yesterday, is one of the sites that's been identified as a site of a massive airburst from the disintegrating Younger Dryas comet. That's the report on Abu Huraira and how close it is to Göbekli Tepe. And if we look at Göbekli Tepe, we can see that it is situated between the headwaters of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. What does Mesopotamia mean? It means between the rivers. Göbekli Tepe is sitting right there, up above where the supposed first, earliest ever human civilization appeared, the civilization of Sumer. I cannot accept that the development of Sumerian civilization is disconnected from what happened at Göbekli Tepe. There is a connection, I'm sure of it, but it's deeply hidden and hard to see sometimes. There's the artist's impression of that airburst over Abu Huraira, and Martin Sweatman has published a book, Prehistory Decoded, where he believes that Pillar 43 in Enclosure D at Göbekli Tepe is a calendar which commemorates the date of the Younger Dryas impact. This is a complicated issue. I'm going to get into this in more depth. Prominently involving the constellation that we know today as Sagittarius. The alignment, you can see Sagittarius there. Do you see that thing that looks a bit like a teapot? Spout of the teapot? That's Sagittarius. And we argue that the vulture on Pillar 43 represents Sagittarius, the constellation we call Sagittarius, and that this is the sun poised over the wing or the arrow of Sagittarius. The location of the sun when it's there over Sagittarius on a solstice, this happens twice in 26,000 years. Once on the summer solstice and once on the winter solstice. And those two happenings are separated by 12,500 years, half a cycle of precession. So the alignment of the sun over the constellation we call Sagittarius with the center of the Milky Way galaxy, that did occur at the summer solstice 12,800 years ago. But it also occurs at the winter solstice in our time, today. The same alignment occurs 12,500 years later, half a precessional cycle later. And so the one occurrence was on the summer solstice around 12,800 years ago, and the most recent still ongoing is the winter solstice in our present epoch. So I'm there with Martin. That isn't Göbekli Tepe, that's a model of Göbekli Tepe in one of the major museums at the nearby town of Şanlıurfa. And we're talking about the imagery on Pillar 43. The airburst over Abu Huraira, so close to Göbekli Tepe, would have been a massive regional phenomenon, remembered for centuries. On the basis of this and much other evidence, Sweatman concludes that the imagery of Pillar 43 is an astronomical diagram featuring constellation figures with the summer solstice sun located just above the spout of the asterism, figured by the astronomers of Göbekli Tepe as a vulture with outstretched wings, and nominated by modern astronomers as the teapot of Sagittarius. As such, the pillar serves as a date stamp for the epoch of the Younger Dryas impacts some 12,800 years ago. But the story doesn't really begin with Martin's 2019 book. The story begins earlier. It begins in 2013 with an article that I accepted for publication on my website by a remarkably insightful individual called Paul Burley. And actually, Paul was the first to notice the curious nature of the figures on Pillar 43 and to tie them up with the center of the galaxy and Sagittarius. And from the very beginning, Paul, in his work, was looking at the winter solstice moment when the sun aligns through Sagittarius with the center of the galaxy. In fact, what he argued was that that pillar at Göbekli Tepe had been carved to forewarn of a future time, the next time that there would be a solstice alignment. And again, these are some of Paul's arguments. The similarity of the bas relief to the crossing of the ecliptic and galactic equator at the center of the Milky Way is difficult to reject, supporting the possibility that humans recognized and documented the precession of the equinoxes thousands of years earlier than is generally accepted by scholars at this time. And what's important here is that for some unknown reason, the builders of Göbekli Tepe constructed a temple apparently highlighting a time 11,600 years in their future.
Wow.
So this also ties up Paul's work, arguing that what we're looking at is the winter solstice alignment occurring in our time. Weirdly, that's exactly the same argument about precession that John Major Jenkins made concerning the Mayan calendar. The Mayan calendar is keyed to that same moment, the winter solstice, when the sun aligns through Sagittarius directly with the center of the galaxy. That defines the date of 2012. And as I explained yesterday, it's not an instant, it's a window, several decades wide. So what Paul Burley recognized in Pillar 43 at Göbekli Tepe is exactly what John Major Jenkins recognized concerning the Mayan calendar. These two issues are not disconnected. They're closely connected, and they're connected by the phenomenon of precession. It's the cosmic rebirth of the sun from the womb of the galaxy, the dark rift at the galactic center. The former world age ends, the new world age begins. So here's as I said, it's complicated. Both Sweatman and Burley accept the well-established radiocarbon date of 9,600 BC, roughly 11,600 years ago, for enclosure D, and therefore for Pillar 43 at Göbekli Tepe. In summary, Sweatman argues that the pillar was carved to record and commemorate the airburst over Abu Huraira that had occurred 1,200 years earlier than the creation of Göbekli Tepe. It thus serves as a date stamp for the onset of the Younger Dryas epoch 12,800 years ago, when the summer solstice sun stood on the wing of the vulture, Sagittarius teapot, in alignment with the galactic center. On the other hand, for Burley, the ancient astronomers of Göbekli Tepe 11,600 years ago focused not on the summer solstice sun, but on the winter solstice sun. On his analysis, therefore, the imagery of Pillar 43 results from forward precessional calculations, much like those of the ancient Maya with their 2012 date of creation, and depicts the sky of our own time. What if both are right? What if that pillar actually does commemorate the 12,800 year ago event and does contain a message for the future? What if Pillar 43 not only records and commemorates the Abu Huraira airburst at the onset of the Younger Dryas, but also uses the universal astronomical language of precession to carry a message to the future, a forewarning? If you want to send a message to the future, for goodness sake, don't write it down in a script. Because 10,000 years from now, the chances are nobody's going to be able to read that script or ever have any hope of deciphering it, as is presently the case with the Indus Valley script and the Easter Island script. If you want to send a message to the future, use a universal language. Use the language of astronomy and combine it with permanent megalithic architecture, which is hard to destroy. And then you have a message that any culture in the future that is astronomically literate will be able to interpret. So maybe the message is, when next you see the sun in direct alignment with the dark rift at the solstice, beware. Either way, we're dealing with the handiwork of master astronomers at Göbekli Tepe. Again, I talked about Mesopotamia, the location of Göbekli Tepe, and the Tas-Tepeler civilization and the connection with Mesopotamia. And it's intriguing that Mesopotamia, ancient Sumer, has this tradition of a great flood, destroyed the world, pushed humanity back to a rudimentary state, but there were some who survived the flood who had knowledge, and they went around the world and they tried to restore the lost world. They tried to bring the lost world back. And in ancient Mesopotamia,
Jennifer,
are you familiar with what he is describing as the Younger Dryas, which occurred?
I am familiar that it was
ago.
a comet or something that caused a flood.
Yeah, so they're saying that a comet or a meteor or something hit the ice plates, the Arctic, and it hyper melted a giant lake. And then, well, this is one of the theories. And then when that gave way, it flooded. I mean, because like Earth had larger ice caps than it did now. And this isn't even the ice age we're talking about. So when that all flooded, it was so sudden that that's what caused, we lost something like 15% of our landmass on Earth when that happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And when you think about it, like a lot of the islands and stuff, like we're talking about Lemuria and in Atlantis and all these other ancient civilizations would have been consumed, right?
Right.
So the Younger Dryas is sort of, it seems to be the timestamp for when ancient society disappeared. And then now what we're doing is we're unraveling everything from the ancient Dryas to now and calling it the whole history of mankind.
I want to do an episode about it. Maybe we'll do this next week. I want to do an episode about it because like I literally know what you've told me about it. I don't know anything more than that. So I think it's interesting though.
Yeah, it's a really cool timestamp. So this is the thing that these scientists like, well, he's not technically a scientist, but people like Graham Hancock and various, several others are trying to say that there were advanced cultures that got wiped out. And people go, where are the steel beams? And it's like, well, just because we developed that way doesn't mean they did. Their technology was based on different energy sources, all kinds of stuff. But what's interesting is everything from the Younger Dryas to now is what they're saying. The whole history, the last 12,000 years, that's pretty much they're stretching it back, saying, well, that's all of human history. Nothing developed before then. No. It wasn't until ancient Sumeria that we had civilization. So, yeah, anyhow, it's a conspiracy I don't think is a conspiracy theory.
Is it just to prevent us from having access to the technology that they had before then?
I don't think current anybody understands that technology. Maybe the lizard people, maybe the reptilians, but current man, I don't think understands the technology that they had. But to maintain control, as the founding 13 families need to maintain control of the earth, they don't want us to know that there was anything before us, because then humanity would take on a new level of significance than we have now, I think. And a lot of people think, oh, we're destroying the planet. Well, the planet sometimes gets destroyed by other things, not people. Lots of things happen way before now. So like all the excuses, the global warming, looking at all the thousands of years of the data they get from the atmosphere and everything and the ice and all that. And they're saying, oh, but now we're having global warming because current people are bad. You can see those trends in ancient societies, but they will never correlate that because we have to be the villains. And if we're fighting amongst each other, we're easily controlled.
All right. Fair enough.
This was Oannes, a figure who supposedly emerged from the sea, and the 7 sages. And they brought wisdom to Sumer, which formed the basis of the Sumerian civilization. It's interesting, I don't mean to be flippant, it's interesting how they carry these little handbags, all of them. We've talked about this quite a lot before. It's a curious thing. They're even physical models.
They're everywhere, all over the world.
They were remembered as teaching advanced astronomical and geodetic knowledge, including all the skills necessary for planning and setting out a city.
Well, there's theories about it.
So there's a figure of Oannes on the...
real men carry purses. They always did. If the ancient Sumerians and like the fucking Nephilim could carry purses, what's your excuse?
These are they're found globally of wise people or god deity or type figures carry these bags, and it's Peru, it's China, it's all of Asia, Japan, Mesopotamia. I mean, like everywhere they've got for some, and nobody knows what it's supposed to be. Like, is it their life support system? Is it they just carried a, maybe wise people it's got that people think it's got to be some kind of technology that these guys are holding, but they all friggin' had it.
You know what the weirdest thing is? So one of my I'm about to make a confession that I don't necessarily want people to know, but like I will tell it anyway.
Be
So
easy on yourself. Go easy on yourself.
like on Instagram, I sometimes get sucked down rabbit holes, and one of the rabbit holes I got sucked down into was the Birkin rabbit hole, in which people are obsessed with these like really expensive purses, and I had no idea that so many men carried these purses. It's a thing. There are men who buy. Yes, there are men who buy them and carry them and model them and all this stuff, and not just gay men either. You'll see athletes carry them. They sometimes have like the really big ones. It's just like it's the most bizarre thing. Anyway, I'm just saying that men carry purses and it's a thing, and
I don't know why
those purses are expensive.
And I don't know why purses got associated with females. Oh wait, because we carry everybody's shit in our bag. Kids' shit, your husband's shit, your own shit, all the shit goes in your bag, and we became the pack horse. And for some reason, men are like, even fanny packs have been poo-poo. But men's clothing has pockets, and ours freaking doesn't. We have to have bags.
Yeah, real.
He left there with his handbag. And on the other side of the world, in Mexico, at La Venta, we have this earliest representation of Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. You can see his plumed serpent on the top. He was also a civilization bringer in the memory of ancient Mexico. And look what the figure is holding
I have
in
another
his
idea.
hand.
Okay.
He's holding another one.
Because I keep thinking about, like, why would they hide this? Also, because they have been able to dominate the world, for the most part, with Christian ideologies. And if you prove that all this shit was happening and it has nothing to do with Christianity, it'll rock that foundation. They'll lose that control hold.
Jennifer, I've been getting really angry at Christians lately. And this is part of the reason, like, I keep going on about this big tech thing, because like the only reason this is relevant in my life is that he does these anti-Christian spaces, and he's like involved in it, and I like them and I want to listen to them and all this stuff. And so we overlap in terms of some of the social circle, and so that's why I worry about it. But anyway, so I've been listening to these like anti-Abrahamic spaces, and I've been watching more of like Adam Green stuff and all this stuff, and I've really been getting very pissed off at Christians, because it's like and separately from whether or not people believe that Christianity is a Jewish psyop, which I kind of do, but like I also understand why people might not believe that. But it's just like Christians go out of their way to, like, how do I put this? I feel like they rob people of what is more natural and innate to us as part of the human experience. They rob them of that. And it's just like, and one of the things that's so interesting to me about the Christian spaces is, like, originally I just started listening to them because they were arguing with Christians, and that was entertaining to me because I used to argue with Christians all the time. I was like, oh, this is a nice little throwback, whatever. But as the CQ spaces have started to get more popular, there are now Christians on Twitter that are so pissed off at the popularity of these spaces that they're now constantly attacking the people who are running the spaces, and there's basically turned into a feud, and it's very soap opera-ish, and it's like men fighting and comparing dick sizes and all that to see
Sounds
who
about
has,
right.
Yeah, that's basically like what's going on. But it's also at the same time, it's like, you're supposed to be fucking Christians. You're trying to dox people. You're accusing people of doing things they didn't do. You're like, some of them, like, they're like hacking into their websites and stuff. Like there's like they're trying to get accounts banned. They have gotten multiple. It's like, you are not behaving and that's the thing, is like, and I've seen this over and over and over again with my stuff. It's like, I'm not suggesting that everyone who is a Christian is a nasty, nasty person, but many, 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 many Christians behave in just such an absurd, toxic way that is completely counter to anything that they're supposed to believe. And then on top of that, they want to rob us and make us feel like, guilty, or attack us because we don't want to believe in their religion and we want to, like, openly talk about their religion. It's like, it's something that really just, like, pisses me off about the whole situation.
Yeah, I can see that. The struggle is real, and especially for people like me who are recovering from a Christian cult. It's easy for me to just roll off an insult here and there. And I try to remember the people that I love that are Christians, people that I enjoy that are good friends who are Christians. And I think if of the church that I even went to, there were so many wonderful, beautiful, good people a part of it. The problem were the people in charge, just like the government. It's the same kind of thing. Who is running the show and who is brainwashing you into thinking that what you're doing is okay? And they aren't. The thing about a lot of religions is they aren't taught to stop and critically think about their ways. They are told to go forth and do my commands, and the minister is the direct finger of God, and he's going to tell you what to do. And so a lot of people take that, and if you're a nasty person, you're going to attack people and be a dick. You're not going to be what Christianity is supposed to be, according to, if you look at the teachings of Jesus. So I can see how, like, some people just need to vent, and that's not okay. So that would be like a seedy underground little group of people venting about Christianity, but it was perfectly fine to do because sometimes you need to off gas, and that happens with any kind of ideology. But of course, then you have the Christians that are very judgmental. They are then literally ordered, proselytized to, and encouraged to judge other people, to ostracize other people. And this largely comes from a lot of the Puritan type of ideals that founded this country. So, but a lot of people, they want to hate you for being wrong, or because they think you're wrong. And I don't understand, but it's all out of fear. And it's all out of anger, and you're destroying our world because you're going against God. And I hear a lot of big talking heads talk about that on the right, that some that I listen to, because I try to listen to a good smattering of different opinions. But they're like, we need to bring God back and prayer back in schools. And I'm like, oh, please no, please don't do that. Please let us evolve past this. Let us learn how to get through this with love. I'm begging you.
Well, and that's honestly one of the things that I really appreciated about the Christians, the CQ Christian spaces, is because, or ex-Christian spaces, and I think you might actually find this interesting because, okay, when they get done using racial slurs, because they are very racist, but it actually has become a little support group for people who have left Christianity. And they opened it, and they're like, and I stopped being a Christian 3 months ago, and this is how my life has gotten better, and I'm supporting you too, brothers. And it's actually actually very nice. It's camaraderie. They're helping each other and supporting each other, and it's so funny because they see it as kind of like their mission to get their brothers away from what they consider to be a cult. And it's kind of like, okay, I mean, there's some positive intent, and then they get attacked by the Christians. It's just like a weird thing. Anyway.
I mean, as long as we have an open sharing of ideas, this is one of the reasons why I love in our Constitution that we don't allow any religion of the state, because we would be just no better than Sharia law at that point. So we're not going to make you cover your head. Yeah, but you're going to make me do X, Y, and Z. So, yeah, no, thank you. I prefer my free will agenda. I appreciate whatever your little life does. Let me have mine. And I think what we don't like about Christians the most, blessed with love for the good ones, that they do tend to be intrusive, judgmental, and very, very negative when it comes down to it. And it's very harmful, and it's not necessary.
Unnecessary, Christians. Unnecessary.
And thank you to the nice ones that don't do that. We appreciate you.
Of those handbags. I mean, I don't know if there's anything to it, but I can't help looking at this and thinking there's something going on behind the scenes that we're not properly understanding yet. And of course, the handbags are there on Göbekli Tepe as well. They're there at the top of Pillar 43. And they carry on through time and in different locations. It's an idea that keeps passing through time. I think this is one of the problems with archaeology. I think we need an archaeology not just of things, not just of artifacts, not just of objects, but I think we need an archaeology of ideas as well. Ideas can be amongst the most enduring artifacts of human culture and can continue for thousands, perhaps even tens of thousands of years. Archaeology is neglecting the ideas of the ancients. So did the idea that there should be a scorpion and a bird in this region of the heavens persist for thousands of years, even while other figures changed their character and the notion of a centaur archer was introduced? And these are the depictions of Sagittarius. But notice he's got bird-like feet and a scorpion-like tail. So it's like this idea has kind of transmuted over time, but we can still see the origins of the idea in the later depictions of Mesopotamian Kuduru stones from the Babylonian period, 2nd millennium BC. Göbekli Tepe, founded 9600 BC. It's a mysterious megalithic site, and it was, despite the protestations of those who are trying to ruin Klaus Schmidt's reputation, it was deliberately buried by its makers after 1,000 years of use and was not seen again until excavations by the German Archaeological Institute got underway in the 1990s. I just want to make another couple of small points. The T-shaped megaliths of Göbekli Tepe, we're looking at there. And then if we go to the island of Menorca, what do we see? We see more T-shaped megaliths. None of the megaliths on Menorca have been properly dated. It's very hard to date megaliths. I'm wondering whether the dating of the Menorca megaliths to about 4,000 years ago is wrong. I'm wondering whether the Menorca megaliths might be just as old as the Göbekli Tepe megaliths. The same kind of idea seems to be shared in both places. And then this kind of circular feel of Göbekli Tepe, and I find myself looking at the temples of Malta, supposedly dated to the oldest gigantea about 6,000 years ago, the youngest about 4,500 years ago. But again, the dating of the Maltese temples is flimsy. It's based on almost nothing. There are no intact carbon dates from beneath megaliths in the great megalithic temples. They've got some carbon dates at Gigantea, but they're from 40 meters away from the main temple. And they're underneath what was formerly a toilet block for tourists. They've now been excavated, but it's 40 meters away from the temple. That can't tell us the date of the temple at all. I'm wondering if the Maltese temples are much older. I first made this point in season 1 of Ancient Apocalypse. I'm wondering if the Maltese temples have been significantly misdated. And then in the Sicily Channel, you know, Sicily used to be joined to...
Go ahead.
If you get a chance, if anybody has Netflix, watch Graham Hancock's show, Ancient Apocalypse. There are 2 seasons. It is fantastic, and it takes you through ancient sites. I mean, there's all... It's amazing. Just when I think I've heard of all the ancient sites, there's 24 more. There are so much, and they all correlate in some way. It is fantastic. I highly recommend Ancient Apocalypse. Go watch it.
Malta by a land bridge.
I'm going to do that.
When sea levels were lower during the Ice Age. And in the Sicily Channel, they found this huge megalith at the bottom with holes drilled through it. It's clearly man-made. Underwater between Sicily and the Maltese archipelago, I think much more research needs to be done. I think there may be further examples of this kind of megalithic architecture down there. So again, we're looking at the Tastepeler civilization. The areas, we can speak of it from the areas that have been extensively investigated. As I say, Cyprus is very interesting. Then there's a lot in Israel, but that reflects actually the fact that there's a lot of archaeology being done in Israel. There's much less archaeology now being done up in Lebanon because, because the area is so devastated and so insecure. But Baalbek in Lebanon is a most extraordinary site, and I don't deny that large parts of it are Roman. This is definitely the temple of Jupiter behind me, and behind that is the temple of Bacchus, the god of wine, certainly Roman. But I wonder about the larger megaliths there, and this outer enclosure wall at Baalbek. The giant megaliths that we're looking at, this is the trilithon. Each of these stones weighs 900 tons. And
you find that in every
about
site.
25 feet above the ground.
Huge stones.
I'm just sitting on top of one of them there. And you can see that gap and these enormous 900-ton blocks. Looking up at them there, now there at my feet is the single piece of evidence that archaeologists point to say, no, those huge blocks were also put in place by the Romans. That single piece of evidence is definitely part of a Roman column. And it's down at the base of the wall.
But it looks like it was
let's think
inserted
about
there.
this.
Yeah,
This place was sometimes used as a fortress. This place was constantly attacked. Attackers undermine foundations to try and get underneath. I think we're looking at a repair block here, using Roman material on much older site. And of course, the extraordinary megalithic blocks still left in the quarry. Supposedly the Romans, although they could lift 900-ton blocks 30 feet in the air, they couldn't lift 1,000-ton blocks, so they just did all the work on this and then just left it there in the quarry. This one weighs, the one I'm standing on weighs about 1,000 tons. This one across the road, now used as a rubbish tip, weighs 1,200 tons. And the new one discovered just at the bottom there, I'm standing on it, that one is 1,400 tons.
Wow.
And the argument is that the Romans did all this work to cut these out, but then just abandoned it. And I think that that's a very un-Roman thing to do. If they truly couldn't move the 1,000 or 1,200 ton blocks, they wouldn't have left them like that. They'd have sliced them up like loaves of bread, and they'd have used the smaller blocks that they created. They would have had use for them. It was a practical culture. They wouldn't have left them there. I think the whole quarry was completely covered by sediment during Roman times. I don't think the Romans even knew that this was there. So Göbekli Tepe raises huge questions over the origins of megalithic architecture, because we know for a fact that the initial inhabitants of Göbekli Tepe were not agriculturalists. They were hunter-foragers, hunter-gatherers. And it's been the dogma of archaeology for decades that hunter-gatherers couldn't create megaliths, that you needed a fully formed agricultural society generating surpluses in order to engage in megalithic construction. Well, Göbekli Tepe just blows that whole idea out of the water. It changes everything. And it is, and I say this with no intent of exaggeration, it is the single most important archaeological site in the world today. And it is shameful that this site is no longer going to be investigated. Karahan Tepe, there I am again. And I just want to compare that
The penis pit.
rock-hewn enclosure cut out of solid rock with the enclosure of the Great Sphinx. And when Mark Lehner said, show me a potsherd from a civilization 12,000 years ago, I would say Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe are that quote-unquote potsherd. Now, I'm going to ask Mike and Jimmy to join me in a second. I just want to finish with one other slide, which is this. I have very rarely served as a host and speaker on tours. I haven't done for many years. But I've been asked next year, 2026, to host and lead and speak at a tour in Egypt. And I'm going to host and speak at tours in Turkey and in South America, Peru and Bolivia in 2027. So Egypt 2026, Peru and Bolivia 2027. If anybody's interested, you... Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you're interested, just go to the talks and events page on my website, and the full details of.
Cool. All right. Next up, we have Puma
Punku. Puma Punku.
What's this? Where is this?
This is in Peru.
Okay.
And this has they're not sure how these megaliths were created. It's another example of we cannot replicate this with our technology today.
Well, that's the other thing too, is like these giant ass rocks are like all over the place, all over the world, and we literally can't do this.
No, we can't. They've tried different things. There are theories about, they dug a pit and then they filled it with sand or whatever, and then they lifted the rock with ropes and horses, and then it just sort of slid into place. And then that's been disproven. Mm-hmm. And they've tried so many different ways to figure out how they rolled the stones for the pyramids of Egypt on logs for 100 miles from the quarry. It's like that. They tried that. They were disproven. There have been people who have replicated these theories, and it never works. The logs break down. The ropes break. That it's too friggin' heavy. You can't get enough horses to pull this thing. There's no way these things were created with our current understanding of how to move material. These things had to have been levitated. There's no doubt in my mind.
All right, so this video is about 10 minutes long, so let's get into it.
We got a lot of little shorties now.
Yeah, I like
except
that.
Except for the Stonehenge one.
Stonehenge. The question should be, how did these people get this knowledge to build these structures? That is a great question, MacB.
Or
that
did they
indeed be the question?
Is this human construction at all, or was it ancient alien construction that people either helped with, or may not have been humans at all? I like to think we did some of it, but I don't think we did all of this.
Ancient architects.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Ancient Architects.
Hello.
Please subscribe now to get the latest ancient history news and independent research from around the world. Puma Punku is a large ancient structure that forms part of the Tiwanaku site in western Bolivia, believed to date back to around 536
Bolivia.
AD.
Yeah.
The name Puma
South
Punku
America.
means the door of the puma, and in the later Inca tradition, Tiwanaku is believed to be the site where the world was created.
Yeah, Tiwanaku
At
is
its
fascinating.
peak, Puma Punku is thought to have been unimaginably wondrous, but a lack of written record, its current deteriorated state, due to historic looting, stone mining for building and ballast, as well as natural weathering, has made the site even more mysterious. Nobody really knows anything about it. What we do know is that Puma Punku is a truly incredible
those
feat of
H's.
engineering.
Yep.
Some blocks
No
of
one
stone more than
comment,
7 meters
please.
long weigh more than 130 tons. Some are made from a type of red sandstone, which would have had to have been transported up a steep incline to reach the site. Whilst other blocks, including the famous H blocks, are made from the volcanic rock andesite. The stones are finely cut and interlocked with perfection. Stone faces are perfectly flat, and corners are exact right angles. Details on the stone, whether for fitting, function, or ornamentation, are often complex, yet are always perfect. Whether straight lines that are grooved into hard volcanic rock, perfectly circular holes, or irregular patterns as we can see here, the workmanship is always perfect. The stones of Puma Punku all interlock. It must have been like a giant puzzle to put the ancient structure together. There was no room for error when they fashioned the individual stone blocks. The ancient architects of Puma Punku were meticulous. They created foundations, fitted stones directly to the bedrock, and there is also evidence of irrigation systems, hydraulic mechanisms and sewage lines. This is a complex settlement and very advanced. Back in December 2018, scientists actually restored the enormous structure to its former splendour as a 3D model. Using a 3D printer, they recreated all of the individual blocks at 4% scale, and Alexei Vranich, an archaeologist with the University of California, worked with his team to fit them together through trial and error. In the end, they produced a near-complete model of Puma Punku. It was a sizable complex of plazas and ramps, adjoining a massive T-shaped platform with its featured gateways and windows seemingly carved from single blocks of stone. In 2006, experts did try to reconstruct the actual site, but although well intended, they actually made things far worse. And today, not a single stone sits in its original place.
I love that. They done fucked up.
Well, if you look at that and you go, oh, you can just carve that. So they have had stonemasons, master stonemasons, try to replicate this, and they can't. Because the angles are so, it looks like it's been molded, or cut. Either is it cut out or is it molded? But I mean, if you look at the perfect right angles in layers, it's like you can't add layers. You have to carve into that. So they're like, even with our diamond cutters and stuff, we cannot get edges because not only do they cut out pieces, they have to also remove them, which means you have to go underneath and remove it all and bring it all out. And then have it perfectly smooth and just those absolutely perfect straight lines and right angles we cannot duplicate today with just stone cutting tools.
Dang.
Every single block has been moved, several have been lost, and most of them suffer heavy damage. I will do a video on their full findings in the future, but they were published on December the 13th, 2018 in the journal Heritage Science. Researcher and author Brian Forster has been to the site on many occasions and researched it in depth, and on his fantastic channel, linked in the description below, you can learn a great deal about Puma Punku and view the anomalous structure in all its glory. Not everybody believes that the work started on the site around 536 AD and that it actually goes back much further in antiquity, being the handiwork of a lost ancient civilization and being a truly ancient part of the later Tiwanaku site. Whatever its age, what has never been fully explained is just how the blocks were cut, transported from the quarries and then shaped, but maybe we've been looking at it all wrong. Thanks to an email I received from a Mr. Dave Ditzel, I have just read a new fantastic scientific paper by Joseph Davidovits, Louis Heuermann and Ralph Davidovits called Ancient Organo-Mineral Geopolymer in South American Monuments, Organic Matter in Andesite Stone, SEM and Petrographic Evidence. This paper, which is linked in the description below, is the basis for this video, and I'll be presenting the findings of this groundbreaking new research. As mentioned, there are many different aspects to Puma Punku, but some of the most puzzling items are what are called the H-blocks. They are made of a hard igneous rock known as andesite, but have an incredibly smooth finish, perfectly flat faces, with 90-degree right angles on the interior and exterior finishes, and the detail is exquisite. We are told they are made using simple stone tools, but this really doesn't work for me. Is it really the case? Not many alternative researchers believe the claim, but scientific or historical evidence to the contrary is hard to find. They are mind-boggling works of stone, and nobody with any conviction knows how they were achieved. But now, the research team has analysed samples of the andesite with a scanning electron microscope, and the finds are as surprising as they are intriguing. The team discovered the presence of organic matter, carbon, nitrogen and mineral elements inside the volcanic rock. Having organic matter inside a volcanic rock is incredibly unusual, if not impossible, and points to the andesite being a man-made geopolymer. Back in 2018, the team undertook petrographic studies on the sandstone quarries and megalithic sandstone blocks and released a paper, also linked below in the description, showing evidence that the sandstone blocks were moulded with a geopolymer mixture. The makeup of the sandstone at Puma Punku was compared with 3 geological sandstone sites from the area. The SEM, EDS, XRD and thin section results suggest that the sandstone megalithic blocks consist of sandstone grains from the Kalamarka geological site, cemented with an amorphous ferrosiolate geopolymer matrix which was formed by human intervention. Extra alkaline salt, known as natron, from the Laguna Cachi in the Altiplano, Bolivia, was also found to have been added to the mixture. But even though this explained the incredibly large sandstone blocks at Puma Punku, the andesite H-blocks still had us scratching our heads until now.
Go ahead.
Geopolymer. Sounds like I should know what that is, but let me just check. So I looked it up. What the heck is geopolymer? Geopolymer is a type of inorganic polymer, specifically a ceramic material formed by the chemical reaction of aluminosilicate materials with an alkaline solution. This process, known as geopolymerization, results in a 3-dimensional covalently bonded network of silico oxide and alumino oxide tetrahedra. These are all very big words. Geopolymer, yes. Geopolymers were, I mean, like, I know what it means, but it's like, wow. Geopolymers are being explored as a sustainable alternative to traditional Portland cement in construction and other applications due to their potential for lower carbon emissions. So what we have here is sort of a high-tech cement.
High-tech cement.
That's what it is. It's kind of like a high-tech cement is what they're saying. They weren't carved. They might have actually been molded.
Crazy.
It has long been believed that the andesite blocks originated from the volcano Cerro Capia in the southern part of Lake Titicaca. But this has been taken for granted as no petrographic work has ever been carried out on samples of the Puma Punku andesite and the natural rock in situ. The research team took andesite samples, but they were sure to take them from outside of the protected monument area. They then analysed them with a scanning electron microscope. Although the surface is very flat, there was no trace of polishing.
Crazy.
There were no abrasion marks or cutting marks on the crystals, but the rock was dotted with small holes, approximately 0.5 to 1 millimeter in diameter and 0.2 to 0.5 millimeters deep, each having clear edges. In thin section, the researchers identified a number of common andesite crystals, such as plagioclase, biotite mica, and pyroxene. But there was also a strange amorphous substance, light brown in colour and faded to the edges. Looking with a high magnification, this was certainly not a crystal, and the researchers admitted it resembled something more like rubber.
Rubber?
The substance had a very high amount of carbon, nitrogen, and mineral elements. It had a clear signature of organic matter, and as discussed in the paper, the scientists were able to rule out the possibility of surface pollution or contamination with further tests. The fact was, the scientists had discovered organic matter within the structure of a volcanic rock. Geologically speaking, it is not possible to have organic matter in a solid volcanic rock, and it wasn't just one anomalous blob of organic matter. It was seen throughout the samples. The only viable explanation from the researchers is that the andesite is actually a ceramic-like man-made stone. They claim the organic matter detected in the study suggests the reaction of ammonium organic compound from vegetal or animal origin with minerals, to form an organo-mineral binding agent to stick the geopolymer rock together. It seems likely that the builders transported non-consolidated volcanic tuff, which has the consistency of sand, from the Kero-Capia region and added the organo-mineral binder, manufacturing the stone with local biomass. As Davidovits, Huerman and Davidovits say in their paper, their work demonstrates that the Puma Punku builders mastered two methods of geopolymer, one for the sandstone megaliths, as they outlined in an earlier paper, and one for the andesite structures, as discussed in this video. That can prove scientifically that Puma Punku is a geopolymer site, a fact that is truly groundbreaking. The H-blocks of Puma Punku are without doubt some of the strangest ancient megalithic artifacts in the world, displaying strange magnetic properties as shown by Brian Forster and cut in such a precise and perfect way by a civilization we are told only had stone tools. The only real explanation seems to be that the blocks are man-made, and now we have evidence. We know scientifically that the builders of Puma Punku were far more advanced than historians and archaeologists admit. The andesite rocks include organic matter, something geologically impossible, and therefore that alone shows that the H-blocks are no ordinary volcanic rock. They are clearly man-made. The next step of their study is to gather enough samples of the Puma Punku andesite to find out the exact makeup of the organic matter, and then they will also be able to undertake carbon-14 dating. Although not always reliable, the team are actually going to be able to carbon date a rock. And then we may find out just how old Puma Punku really is. Maybe history is on the verge of being rewritten.
Crazy.
I have just launched a new YouTube channel called...
All right.
Ancient cement. And like that basically,
cement.
They took rocks and pulverized them with sand and added some chemicals and then water, and boom, they molded them. Crazy.
Man, people are so creative. All right.
Here we are. Yeah.
Stonehenge. I'm really excited about this video. Okay, the 15 things that will change how you see Stonehenge forever.
I love this. It goes through every single theory except for one that I've heard.
Where massive stones rise eerily from the earth, standing silent yet commanding, as though guarding a secret lost to time. For thousands of years, Stonehenge has captivated the human imagination, its towering stones provoking awe, wonder, and endless curiosity. Is it merely an ancient construction, or does it hold the key to mysteries far greater than we dare to comprehend? This enigmatic monument has stood for over 4,000 years, watching as empires rose and fell, as languages changed, and as humanity attempted to unlock its secrets. Was it a temple of worship, an astronomical observatory, a portal to another realm, or something even more extraordinary? Today, we're diving into 15 of the most mind-bending theories about Stonehenge, each more captivating than the last. By the end of this journey, you won't just see Stonehenge as a collection of ancient stones, you'll see it as a gateway to untold mysteries that challenge everything we think we know about the past. Stay with us as we unravel this ancient enigma. Now turning to our first theory, the idea that Stonehenge served as an ancient astronomical observatory has fascinated researchers for generations. The precision with which the stones align with key celestial events, such as the summer and winter solstices, is nothing short of astounding. Imagine standing at the site thousands of years ago, watching the sun rise perfectly between the stones during the longest day of the year. This alignment suggests a deliberate design, hinting at a society deeply attuned to the cycles of the cosmos. Ancient cultures often revered the sun as a source of life and energy, and it's possible that Stonehenge functioned as a sacred space to track these heavenly movements. Early civilizations relied on the changing positions of the sun and moon to guide agricultural practices, mark seasons, and perform religious rituals. Stonehenge could have been their calendar, their compass, and their temple all rolled into one. Its construction reflects not only engineering skill, but also an advanced understanding of astronomy that defies the expectations we might have for ancient societies. Could this be evidence of a sophisticated culture viewing the sky as a cosmic map, or were the builders attempting to connect with the divine? The questions deepen, but one thing is clear: Stonehenge's celestial precision is no accident. It's a monument to a profound relationship between humanity and the stars, offering glimpses into how our ancestors may have seen their place in the grand design of the universe. Moving forward, our second theory delves into the possibility that Stonehenge served as a sacred burial site, a place where the living and the dead converged in meaningful rituals. Archaeologists have uncovered human remains dating back thousands of years, scattered in and around the site. These discoveries suggest that Stonehenge may have been a focal point for ceremonial burials.
See, now
The
hang on
types
to
of
that.
burials unearthed reveal
Just hang on to
intriguing
that.
insights
Yeah,
into the
just,
culture of its
hang on,
builders. Cremated
I'm
remains
interrupting.
carefully buried.
There you go.
So I think that the burial sites are the people who just happen to have died as they were all converging on Stonehenge. I don't think it was like they went there to bury their dead, because there would be way
Yeah,
more
I don't
bodies.
think so either. Yeah, that
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
I think it's like, when let's all go to Stonehenge. Oh shit, grandpa died. It's like, we'll leave him here. I think that's what that is.
I agree.
buried in pits point to elaborate funerary practices that likely held deep spiritual significance. Some of these remains are thought to belong to individuals of high status, perhaps leaders, warriors, or spiritual figures, indicating that Stonehenge may have been reserved for the elite or those deemed worthy of special reverence. This theory ties deeply into the ritualistic practices of ancient societies, where honoring the dead was as much about connecting with the divine as it was about remembrance. The circular design of the monument might have symbolized eternity, a sacred boundary between the mortal world and the afterlife. It's compelling to imagine that generations gathered here to pay homage to their ancestors, seeking guidance, protection, or blessings. Could Stonehenge have been a bridge between the earthly and the spiritual realms, a sacred space where life and death intertwined? This idea not only deepens the intrigue of its purpose, but also reflects the profound human instinct to honor and immortalize those who came before us. Moving forward, our third theory uncovers the fascinating idea that Stonehenge was a place of healing,
Yo, hang on,
drawing
hang
people
on.
from far.
Breaking news, Jennifer, breaking news.
Oh God.
I found my picture from Stonehenge.
Oh, look at you with all
There
those
I
big
am.
ancient rocks.
There
Look
are
at
some
you.
big rocks. Big rocks right there. Did I post any other pictures? Nah, that was it. Oh, look at this! Look at this portrait. This is actually, I saw this in the National Portrait Gallery in London. I was like, this woman is my spirit animal. She's carrying the head of a man that she is obviously just like decapitated. She's just looking at the camera like with a side
Like,
eye.
you want to be next?
Yeah, exactly. But that's it. I just want to show my picture
Oh,
from
look.
Stonehenge. That's
Yay.
it. Yay, Stonehenge.
Physical proof.
Yeah, I was there. Indeed. And then I went to Bath after that, and that was actually really cool. I can watch DISENRAGE 24/7. Love it, ladies. Thanks,
Aw.
Nick. Appreciate it.
And wide in search of remedies for both the body and the spirit. Archaeological evidence suggests that individuals journeyed great distances, possibly viewing Stonehenge as a sacred sanctuary of recovery and renewal. One of the most intriguing aspects supporting this theory lies in the blue stones, the smaller stones within the monument that are believed to possess healing properties. These blue stones are not native to the site but originate from the Preseli Hills in Wales, located over 100 miles
Yeah, that's
away.
crazy.
Transporting these massive stones such a great distance without modern tools speaks volumes about their perceived importance.
I think this was.
Could the effort to move them signify a belief in their extraordinary
Go
I think this was like years ago. I saw a documentary of these English guys who were trying to roll a comparable stone on a bunch of logs, but it was like 50% or 25% to scale, so it was smaller. And they're just trying to test their theory, and they couldn't get it to work. The logs kept rolling out of order, or they would disintegrate, or there was just took too much effort to keep rolling. Like they'd have to, once the thing went over a log, guys would have to like coordinate to run the log back up to the front so it could keep going. And it was like, this is stupid. There's no reason people would put this much effort. They had to have an easier way. It's way too hard.
Powers. Some researchers propose that the blue stones were thought to emit an energy or vibration capable of curing ailments, a belief that may have drawn ancient pilgrims to this site. Adding further weight to this theory, skeletal remains found near Stonehenge reveal signs of physical trauma and injuries, suggesting that those who came here might have been seeking relief from their afflictions. The idea of Stonehenge as a healing center ties deeply into the rituals and spiritual practices of ancient cultures, where the boundaries between physical health and spiritual well-being were often intertwined.
How it felt.
Could this iconic
Stonehenge?
monument have...
Yeah, how it felt to be there.
It's peaceful, but there is an eerie feeling about it. But it's very calm, very peaceful. It's like very beautiful, but it's just like there's definitely something where it's like, I mean, maybe but it might just be too. It's like it's so weird to be there in person. You see this thing over and over in all these pictures, and like so there is that to it. But I don't know. I thought you could tell that something definitely happened there. Like it had a very distinct energy about it, but it wasn't evil or anything like that.
It just kind of felt
nice.
like ancient Earth kind of.
Yeah,
vibe.
just like very old, like definitely old. Like there was like a reverence. It was like you could tell it was like a sacred site of some sort.
Well, obviously, yeah. I would love that. I went to Stonehenge in Wyoming, but it's made out of cars.
Oh,
It's like old cars. I have pictures of that. We went there for the full eclipse to see totality.
well, that's
My
cool.
parents and I went up there, and we went through. It's called Carhenge, and it's really, really cool.
Dang.
been a beacon of hope and restoration, a place where the sick and weary sought renewal under the watchful alignment of the stones. The idea captures the imagination, suggesting that Stonehenge was far more than a static monument. It may have pulsed with life, ritual, and the enduring human desire for healing and transformation. Now turning to our fourth theory, we explore the intriguing idea that Stonehenge may have functioned as a giant musical instrument. While this concept may sound
Really?
unusual at first,
That's weird.
scientific studies have revealed that the stones produce distinctive sounds when struck,
Yeah,
they
almost
bong.
like ringing
Yeah.
tones or resonant vibrations. This phenomenon is particularly notable with the blue stones, which seem to possess unique acoustic properties. Researchers have conducted experiments replicating these sounds, striking the stones gently to produce what can only be described as a series of musical notes. This has led to the suggestion that Stonehenge could have been used in ancient times as a place for ritualistic or ceremonial sound performances, where the music or vibrations played a crucial role in spiritual experiences. Imagine a gathering of ancient people standing among the towering stones, their sounds
Have you ever-
reverberating through the open landscape, creating
God.
Have you ever heard of those rocks? They're by a river that you can strike them and they ring like a bell.
I know what you're talking about because I was watching a show on Gaia where they were talking about like moving how did they move this stuff, and they said they were talking about how they levitated them with these magical stones that they had, and like
Yeah.
in the sites that they did it, like they did it on the
It
video.
changes
like,
the-
bing.
Yeah,
It's like
it changes
the stones that ring like bells.
totally. It changes something about the makeup of the stone itself. And there was something I saw where they bonged one of the lintel pieces, the lintel pillars on the top of Stonehenge, and the sound reverberated all the way around. And it was like it went through the whole store. They did a recording of it. You stand in the center and it almost hits you like an energy beam.
You know what? There's a statue. Actually, I wonder if I can find it real quick. Hang on. I bet I can. Hang on.
Yeah. It was like the sonic.
Statue- No, this is in Vermont.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
not quite what you're talking about, but I want to see if I can find it. Okay, I have kind of a picture of it.
There is something to be said for the healing
So-
properties of sonic resonance.
I'm trying to find a good picture of it, but I'm not getting it. Okay, so I guess this is about as good as it's going to get, maybe. Let me show you this. So this is a statue. It might not seem like much. This is in Barrie, Vermont, which is near where I grew up. Actually, this is probably a better one. So it's a really giant ass statue. But what it has around it is it has a bench. You can see it's kind of like curved.
Where am I
It's-
looking?
Like you can see behind the statue, there's like a granite stone bench.
Oh, yeah.
And so like I'll go back to. Oh, come on. Wait, you're not looking at the same thing I am.
Oh.
That's what I was trying to show you.
Yeah.
So you can see like the bench back there.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go back to this one. See, it's opening these things in a new tab. It's trying to be helpful. So you can see there's a big round bench in the back.
Yeah.
And so basically, like this statue is pretty big, and then it has this like granite bench in a giant semicircle. And one of the things that's cool about it is if one person sits all the way on one side of the bench and then like another person sits all the way on the other side of the bench, you can like whisper into the bench and the sound travels all the way to the other side. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I sure do.
It's crazy. I remember my father took us there when we were kids, and he and of course we didn't know what was going to happen because we were kids. He's like, sit here, and he did the thing on it. We were like, what the fuck?
Whoa!
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Garden of the Gods?
No.
Garden of the Gods is a geological park in Colorado Springs, and it's
Oh, I know what you're
beautiful.
talking about now. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I've been there several times. One of the times I went there, and you can never see the whole thing. You really can't. But one of the times I went there we found this thing. There's a big cliff face, thousands of feet tall, and there was all these rock formations, and it kind of formed a natural circle. So the people, when they came in and landscape Garden of the Gods, they put pathways in and stuff to make it easy. And there's hiking trails where it's more rustic, but in the more like touristy area, there's that one cliff face and then the rocks that go around it. And they did a big tiled center, like circle rather, of concentrically different colored rings of tile. And then there was like a step up, like a regular, maybe 12-inch step up, and then another circle. And then in the center, it looked like they put a cross in a circle, like X marks the spot.
Mm-hmm.
And my friends they're all walking and talking and stuff. And I looked at that and I'm like, that's significant. Something's important about that. So I went over and I stood in the center of it and I said, hey, and there was no sound.
That's crazy.
Like there was no echo, no reverb. People could hear me, but I couldn't hear myself, and I could hear other people. But when you talk, it was like the sound deadened right in that spot. I'm like, oh my God. And it felt like I was suddenly in a cone of silence, like literally. And I'm like, you guys got to stand here and say something. This is crazy. And everyone's like, oh, whatever. And one by one, they're like, whoa, like it's so creepy. It was
That's
really cool.
crazy.
Yeah.
Dang.
An otherworldly atmosphere. The implications of this theory are profound, as it links the monument to the importance of sound in ancient cultures, not only as a form of communication, but also as a medium for connecting with the sacred and the unknown. Across the world, other ancient sites, such as caves or temples, have been found to harness the acoustic properties of their environments, enhancing rituals and ceremonies with sound. If Stonehenge served a similar purpose, it would add yet another layer of depth to its enigmatic history, showing how the human fascination with sound and its power to unify, heal, or transcend has been present for millennia. Could it be that Stonehenge was not only a visual marvel but also an auditory one, designed to resonate with the human spirit in ways we are only beginning to understand? Moving forward, we delve into the fifth theory, which suggests that Stonehenge may have served as a portal to the afterlife. This hypothesis stems from its peculiar design and orientation, as well as its relationship with nearby Neolithic sites, particularly Durrington Walls. Scholars have noted that the alignment of Stonehenge with the solstices, combined with its circular layout, could symbolize the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth, a belief deeply embedded in many ancient cultures. The connection to Durrington walls is especially intriguing, as evidence indicates that the settlement was a place of the living, while Stonehenge may have represented a realm of the dead. Archaeological findings suggest processional routes linking the two sites, which some interpret as symbolic journeys from life to the afterlife. Similar rituals have been observed in other ancient civilizations. For instance, the pyramids of Egypt were aligned and designed to guide the soul's journey to the afterlife, while structures like Chichen Itza in Mesoamerica also reflect celestial orientations tied to spiritual beliefs. The idea that Stonehenge could have held a comparable role speaks to the universality of humanity's fascination with what lies beyond death. If this theory holds true, Stonehenge would not simply be a cluster of stones, but a deliberate, sacred space intended to bridge the earthly and the eternal, offering solace, guidance, or even a portal for those who had passed on. This perspective casts the monument in a profoundly spiritual light, inviting us to consider the depth of meaning and intention behind its creation and its role within the Neolithic worldview. Now turning to our sixth theory, we explore the idea that Stonehenge functioned as a giant solar calendar. This theory hinges on the precise alignment of the stones with astronomical events, particularly the summer and winter solstices. The layout of the monument appears to serve as a kind of prehistoric timekeeping device, meticulously designed to track the passage of the seasons. Studies have shown that during the summer solstice, the sun rises directly above the heel stone, casting its first light into the heart of the circular arrangement. Similarly, during the winter solstice, the setting sun aligns perfectly with the central axis of the site. These alignments suggest that Stonehenge was far more than a static monument. It may have been a dynamic, functional tool for marking the year's most significant moments. For agricultural societies, understanding the seasonal cycles was not merely a matter of curiosity but a necessity. Knowing when to plant and harvest crops would have been critical for survival, and a solar calendar like Stonehenge could have provided that guidance. Beyond agriculture, the solstices also held immense cultural and spiritual significance for many ancient communities. These pivotal moments in the solar year were often marked by festivals, rituals, and gatherings, fostering a sense of unity and shared purpose. Stonehenge, with its impressive design and celestial precision, might have served as the central stage for such events, blending practical timekeeping with profound spiritual celebration. In this light, the monument becomes a testament to the ingenuity and interconnectedness of its creators, offering a glimpse into their ability to harmonize human life with the rhythms of the cosmos. This theory not only deepens our appreciation for the site's craftsmanship, but also underscores its potential role as a bridge between the earthly and celestial realms, further cementing Stonehenge's place as a wonder of the ancient world. Now turning to our seventh theory, we delve into one of the most controversial and speculative ideas surrounding Stonehenge: the possibility that it was constructed with the assistance of extraterrestrials or even served as their landing site. Proponents of this theory point to the extraordinary precision involved in the construction of the monument, a feat that seems almost inconceivable given the tools and technology available to humans during the Neolithic period. The sheer size and weight of the stones, some of which weigh up to 45 tons, add to the mystery. How could ancient people have transported these massive monoliths over such great distances, especially when some of the blue stones originated hundreds of miles away in the Preseli Hills in Wales? Skeptics of conventional explanations argue that even with sleds, ropes, and the combined strength of many individuals, the task would have been unimaginably arduous. This raises the question: did our ancestors receive advanced knowledge or assistance from beings beyond our world? The layout of Stonehenge also intrigues proponents of the extraterrestrial theory. The site's intricate arrangement and celestial alignments suggest an understanding of astronomy that some find difficult to attribute solely to the knowledge of the time. Could this sophistication indicate guidance or intervention from a more advanced intelligence? Furthermore, some fringe theorists have highlighted ancient legends and myths that speak of visitors from the heavens, interpreting these tales as possible references to alien encounters. While mainstream archaeology provides plausible explanations rooted in human ingenuity, the extraterrestrial hypothesis challenges us to think beyond the boundaries of what we currently understand. Whether viewed as a thought-provoking possibility or pure speculation, this theory adds an exhilarating dimension to the enigma of Stonehenge, inviting us to ponder the broader mysteries of our existence in the universe. Moving forward, let us examine the intriguing theory that Stonehenge was intentionally designed to harness the power of sound for healing or inducing transcendental experiences. Researchers have long been captivated by the acoustic properties of the site, and studies suggest that the arrangement of the stones creates a unique sound environment. Tests conducted using acoustic simulations have shown how the structure reflects and amplifies certain frequencies, creating an almost otherworldly resonance. This effect would have been particularly striking during rituals or gatherings, where rhythmic sounds, chanting or drumming might have reverberated throughout the stone circle, enveloping participants in an immersive auditory experience. Such an atmosphere could potentially have induced meditative states, heightened spiritual connection, or perhaps even physical healing, as sound has often been linked to therapeutic benefits in various cultures throughout history. Ancient civilizations worldwide frequently regarded sound as a sacred force, using it in ceremonies to align body, mind, and spirit. Could Stonehenge have been a monumental testament to this belief, a space specifically engineered for such purposes? The idea gains further support when considering the cultural significance of music, vibration, and sound in ancient practices. From Tibetan singing bowls to the chants of indigenous peoples, sound has been used across ages to heal and transcend. Given the careful planning and effort that went into constructing Stonehenge, is it possible its builders understood and sought to harness these profound effects of sound? This theory adds yet another dimension to our understanding of the site, blending the physical and the metaphysical to offer a glimpse into the spiritual lives of our ancestors. As we marvel at the possibilities, we are reminded of the vast and sophisticated knowledge that may have existed in ancient times, much of which remains obscured by the veil of history. Now turning to the next theory, we delve into the fascinating possibility that Stonehenge functioned as an astronomical altar, intricately tied to celestial events. The positioning of the stones appears to be far from random, with alignments that correspond to significant astronomical phenomena. Many researchers believe that these alignments could have allowed ancient priests or shamans to observe and predict occurrences like lunar and solar eclipses, granting them an air of mystical authority within their communities. Imagine the awe such predictions would have inspired in societies that deeply revered the cosmos as a guiding force. By accurately foretelling celestial events, these individuals may have reinforced their roles as spiritual intermediaries, connecting their people to the heavens above. Additionally, this understanding of the stars and seasons would have been invaluable for agricultural societies, helping them determine the optimal times for planting and harvesting. The idea of Stonehenge as an altar is supported by the physical evidence of its layout, such as the famous heel stone, which aligns perfectly with the rising sun during the summer solstice. This alignment may have served not only as a tool for observation, but also as a focal point for rituals and ceremonies celebrating the solstice. Such gatherings could have been deeply spiritual, uniting communities in shared reverence for the celestial cycles that govern their world. This theory paints Stonehenge as more than just a tool for tracking time. It becomes a sacred space where the celestial and the earthly converged, a powerful symbol of humanity's enduring connection to the stars. Moving forward, we explore the compelling notion that Stonehenge served as a monument of unity, bringing together diverse tribes or groups in an extraordinary display of cooperation. The construction of such an immense and intricate structure would have been no small feat, demanding not only advanced knowledge of engineering and logistics, but also the collective effort of many individuals. Imagine the coordination required to transport enormous stones over vast distances, possibly using primitive tools and techniques. This monumental undertaking suggests that the people involved were united by a shared purpose, transcending territorial and cultural differences to achieve something far greater than any single group could accomplish on its own. This theory positions Stonehenge as more than just a physical structure. It becomes a symbol of collaboration and collective achievement.
I don't believe
The
that at
act
all.
of working together toward
How
a
so?
common goal may have
I have lost faith in humanity in the last several years. Let me just say that. I have lost faith in humanity. I don't believe they can work together. I don't believe that you will ever find a significant group of people who do actually care about something. Like, you'll find people who care about it, don't get me wrong, but it's just like a significant... You're telling me a group of people in the ancient world came together to put aside their differences, to work together, to build a giant stone creation in which they had to mine stones 100 miles away in Wales and get them, and they didn't kill each other in the process? I don't believe it.
I think it's possible then. It's not possible now. But
I don't think it was possible then either. I don't think we've changed that much, honestly.
I mean, I don't think human beings created Stonehenge. I just can't. It's just impossible. But I do think it was created with like ancient alien stuff or maybe a collaboration. But I mean, if you think about back then, they were all polytheistic. There wasn't this big clash to convert or die. And also, they don't know when this was even made. I mean, this could have been here before mankind had civilization. And that's kind of what I'm starting to tend towards that theory, actually. But they were so focused back then on survival and procreation that they didn't have like TikTok and cable and Twitter and news and all this other shit that distracted them. They were focused on survival, and collaboration was how you survived. That's why we have tribes. So I think in the case of back then, it is possible that could have happened a lot more likely than today, for sure.
All right. We can agree to disagree. It's fine.
have fostered alliances,
You have more
strengthened
faith in
social
humanity
bonds,
than I
and
do.
even laid the
Me too.
groundwork for early governance or leadership structures. Beyond its construction, Stonehenge might have continued to function as a shared cultural or spiritual center, a place where different groups came together for rituals, ceremonies, or gatherings. Such events would have reinforced a sense of community and mutual respect, even among diverse tribes. The enormity of the project itself stands as a testament to the human capacity for unity, creativity, and determination, making Stonehenge not just a marvel of engineering, but also a powerful emblem of social cohesion. As we consider this theory, we are reminded of the profound role collective effort has played in shaping human history and culture. Now turning to the intriguing theory that Stonehenge may serve as a symbolic map of the underworld, we step into a realm where mythology and archaeology intertwine. Some researchers suggest that the arrangement of the stones reflects ancient cosmological beliefs, with each placement potentially representing elements of a spiritual journey or the structure of a mythical afterlife. In various cultures, the underworld is often depicted as a labyrinthine realm with distinct pathways, boundaries, and thresholds, all serving as metaphors for the soul's passage after death. Could it be that the circular design of Stonehenge mirrors this concept, guiding participants in ceremonial rites meant to honor or communicate with the dead? The alignment of the stones, particularly with celestial events, may also hold clues. Ancient people often viewed the heavens as a reflection of the divine order, while the earth represented the mortal world. The idea of Stonehenge as a bridge between these realms, a portal linking the living, the dead, and the cosmos, has captivated both scholars and storytellers alike. Some interpretations even draw parallels to other symbolic structures, like the Egyptian pyramids or the Mayan ball courts, which were similarly thought to map connections between the mortal and spiritual worlds. Rituals performed at Stonehenge might have been deeply influenced by such cosmological frameworks, with participants enacting symbolic journeys or offering tributes to ensure safe passage for the souls of the departed. This theory paints Stonehenge as more than a physical monument. It becomes a profound testament to the fascination with life's mysteries and the enduring human quest to make sense of the unknown. Could Stonehenge truly have been a map to the great beyond, charting paths not of this world but of the unimaginable landscapes of the afterlife? Moving forward, we delve into the captivating and speculative theory that Stonehenge might have been an ancient time machine or portal, a concept that pushes the boundaries of imagination and scientific understanding. Fringe theorists propose that the unique geometry of the stone circle, combined with its precise placement in the landscape, could have been purposefully designed to harness mysterious forces, potentially enabling journeys through time. These ideas often draw upon the advanced mathematical knowledge evident in the monument's construction, suggesting that its creators may have understood complex principles far beyond what we typically attribute to ancient civilizations. Imagine the circular arrangement of the stones not merely as a static structure, but as an intricate mechanism capable of altering the flow of time. Some theorists point to the site's alignment with celestial events, surmising that the synchronization of earthly and cosmic forces might have been a key component in activating this hypothetical portal. This theory often parallels legends from other cultures, such as stories of sacred sites that are said to distort time or serve as gateways to different dimensions. Could it be that Stonehenge was intended not just to connect the mortal and spiritual realms, but also past, present, and future? While no physical evidence has yet been found to support these claims, the enduring allure of this theory lies in its invitation to ponder what secrets our ancestors might have understood or even mastered. Could Stonehenge's enigmatic design point to knowledge lost to time, hinting at a world where the boundaries of reality as we know it were not as rigid? Whether seen as science fiction or a profound enigma, this theory only deepens the sense of wonder surrounding Stonehenge and its purpose. Now turning to the next fascinating theory, we explore the suggestion that Stonehenge may have served as a sacred temple for celestial worship. The sun and moon, often regarded as powerful deities in ancient cultures, could have been central to the rituals performed at this iconic site. The precise alignment of the stones with key astronomical events, such as the summer and winter solstices, strongly supports
Wait a
this
minute,
idea.
I have questions.
Imagine ancient...
Go ahead.
Jeremy says he sat naked on the stones.
Yeah.
And I need the story.
I suspect Jeremy's full of shit, but it's my suspicion.
I must have the story. Now, I meant, like, why do you think these pretend mankind could do this? Why do you think anybody would make this?
I mean, I think it was some sort of temple for worship of something. I think the sun stuff makes sense because I remember when I was there, they explained to us about the solstice and how everything is perfectly lined up with that. And so I'm sure it was something like that.
Okay. I always thought it was like a calendar, maybe, of some kind.
I mean, that would make sense, too. It lines up with, I mean, like astrology. I mean, if it lines up with the sun, it probably lines up with other astrological things as well.
It's probably just like the old infrastructure of like some alien McDonald's that just happened to survive. Like they would try, the restaurant was on top, but it's fallen apart now, but they would it was above the ground so they could buzz their little ships by and pick up their hamburgers. But
I do think I mean, the craziest thing about Stonehenge to me is just where the stones come from.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Like, honestly, why Wales 100 miles away? That's like not exactly easy. Like, I mean, probably could have been easier. And there are different types of stones I remember, because I remember I got Victor a keychain or something made out of like one of the types of stones, but I think there's other types of stones that are there too.
There's one theory that's dated 2 of the stones that line up with the solstice as being natural formations of some kind. And so it's that theory says they saw that and went, that's Earth connecting with heaven. Look how it lines up. And they went to the trouble of creating the rest of the circle around that because it was already there and they wanted to enhance it.
Okay, maybe I could see that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's an old calendar or something alien. I really don't think mankind made that unless ancient civilizations had the levitation technology needed to do this.
Well, again, it's kind of like if they really did, why don't we see more of these monuments today everywhere in these countries?
Like, that's why I'm bringing up all the megalithic sites that we've been looking at.
Well, I know, but like they're like kind of all over the world. But I'm saying, like, you know, if this was really made by man, like, England is an island. Like, it's like there should have probably been other examples of that on the island if that was actually made by, you know, the English.
Yeah, like they would want this everywhere because it's so functional.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeremy was a hippie. Okay. Gotcha.
Worshippers gathering within the circle, their ceremonies timed perfectly to coincide with the rising or setting sun, marking moments of profound spiritual significance. This alignment may have allowed priests or shamans to observe celestial movements and interpret what they believed were divine messages, enhancing their spiritual connection to the cosmos. Such practices are not unique to Stonehenge and can be observed in other ancient cultures around the world. For example, the pyramids of Egypt and the temples of the Maya demonstrate a similar reverence for celestial phenomena, with structures designed to align with solstices, equinoxes, and even specific star constellations. Could Stonehenge have been part of this global tradition of aligning earthly monuments with the heavens to honor and understand the cosmos? By connecting the physical world with celestial forces, its builders might have sought to bridge the gap between humanity and the divine. This theory not only deepens our appreciation for the astronomical sophistication of ancient civilizations, but also opens a window into their spiritual world, where the stars and planets were not just distant objects but guiding forces in their lives. Moving forward, we delve into the idea that Stonehenge was a monument built to commemorate the ancestors. Archaeological evidence suggests that this ancient site was not merely a cluster of stones, but a gathering place for profound ceremonies tied to honoring the dead. Excavations around Stonehenge have uncovered evidence of large-scale feasting, with remnants of animal bones and pottery indicating that people came together for communal events. These gatherings might have been more than simple celebrations. They could have been rituals to remember and pay respect to those who had passed, creating a shared sense of legacy and connection among those who attended. The enduring presence of the massive stones themselves may symbolize permanence, serving as a reminder of the ancestors' wisdom and guidance. The arrangement of the stones, standing tall and enduring against the passage of thousands of years, could have been a deliberate gesture to reflect eternity, linking the living with generations long gone. Such ceremonies would have reinforced not only their spiritual beliefs but also the bonds within their community. This idea reminds us of humanity's intrinsic desire to honor its roots, to remain connected to those who came before. By building a structure so enduring and monumental, Stonehenge might have been a reflection of the values and tribute ancient societies placed on their past, ensuring that the memory of their ancestors would remain immortalized in stone. Now turning to the final and perhaps most controversial theory, we explore the idea that Stonehenge may have been constructed with extraterrestrial assistance.
Yes.
This perspective comes from the staggering engineering feats required to create the monument. Imagine the challenges faced by Neolithic builders in transporting these massive stones, some weighing as much as 25 tons over vast distances. The blue stones are believed to have been quarried in Wales, hundreds of miles away from the site. Without advanced machinery, how did they manage such a task? Ancient alien enthusiasts suggest that this undertaking might have been made possible through technology or knowledge imparted by extraterrestrial beings. The precise arrangement of the stones is another point of intrigue. The alignment with astronomical events like solstices is so exact that it raises questions about whether the builders had access to tools or calculations far ahead of their time. Some theorists even argue that such precision and effort were intended for purposes far beyond what we currently understand, possibly involving extraterrestrial intentions in guiding or influencing humanity. While mainstream archaeology attributes this ingenuity to human determination and collaboration, the mystery of how Stonehenge was achieved without modern tools persists. This theory may be speculative, but it highlights the profound sense of wonder Stonehenge continues to inspire, suggesting that its creation is a story that defies easy explanation. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let us revisit the idea of Stonehenge as an ancient astronomical observatory, delving deeper into how early civilizations might have achieved such incredible celestial alignment. Recent studies suggest that the builders could have utilized rudimentary tools like wooden sighting posts or simple ropes to map the positions of the sun, moon, and stars. These tools, while primitive by modern standards, might have allowed them to create accurate alignments by observing celestial patterns over multiple generations. Furthermore, archaeologists have employed computer simulations to recreate the Neolithic night sky, revealing how the structure's arrangement seemingly mirrors significant astronomical events with remarkable precision. These simulations suggest that Stonehenge could function as a calendar, marking solstices and equinoxes essential for agricultural planning and ceremonial purposes. The alignment of the heel stone with the sunrise during the summer solstice offers a compelling example, indicating an advanced understanding of the solar cycle despite the absence of written records or advanced instruments. This raises the question, could oral traditions and repetitive observations alone account for this extraordinary achievement? Some researchers propose that the builders might have used reflective water basins to enhance their observations of the sky, turning natural resources into ingenious tools for tracking celestial movements. While the true methods remain speculative, the evidence points to an extraordinary level of ingenuity and collaboration, underscoring the sophistication of the people who created this ancient marvel. Moving forward, let us further explore the intriguing notion of Stonehenge as a healing center by delving into the significance of the Preseli Hills bluestones. These stones, remarkably sourced from over 180 miles away in Wales, continue to baffle researchers. The immense effort required to transport them across such a vast distance, involving rivers, rugged terrains, and perhaps even wooden sledges, implies that these stones...
Really think about that. Really think about that. I ran 3 marathons. Those 3 marathons together are what? 80 miles, basically. Wow. And it's just like, you're talking about 180 miles.
Towing 100 tons of rock.
Like, it's just like, it's an absurd distance. It's absurd.
Yeah.
To take, I mean, they could have just built it there.
Yeah.
They could have.
But for some reason... And I think the site of Stonehenge has an intersection of several ley lines. So there's something about the energy that's like why it had to be there.
That makes sense.
However, I mean, how do we get shit there? I mean, did they have to have megaliths? Like, why megaliths? Why didn't they just make earthen hills? Like, or it could have been something out of wood. I mean, and I think there are some wood henges around England too. But I mean, yeah, the way the reason for this is a little confounding, and I do agree with someone in the chat said it's multi-purpose, and I think that definitely is it. But there was something up that this had to be built there with these things from all this great distance away. It's fascinating, but yeah,
held exceptional importance to the people of the time. Now, why would such an arduous journey be deemed necessary? The answer may lie in the unique properties attributed to these bluestones. Ancient local myths and traditions often speak of sacred stones endowed with mystical or healing powers, and some researchers believe that these legends might have originated from the communities that first quarried and transported them. The Preseli Hills, where these stones are found, were likely considered a significant spiritual landscape, perhaps revered for its connection to natural energy or otherworldly forces. By incorporating these revered stones into the structure of Stonehenge, the builders might have sought to harness their purported healing properties, creating a monument that symbolized physical and spiritual renewal. This idea gains further credibility from evidence suggesting that people traveled great distances to Stonehenge, many of them possibly injured or sick, seeking relief or cure. The combination of pilgrimage, ritual, and belief in the stone's power adds another layer of depth to the theory of Stonehenge as a healing sanctuary. With this in mind, what could these efforts and narratives tell us about the collective values and aspirations of the ancient people who created this enigmatic site? As we continue to uncover clues, it becomes clear that Stonehenge was more than just a stone circle. It was a testament to the resilience, belief systems, and ingenuity of its builders. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let us return to the fascinating theory of Stonehenge as a giant solar calendar and delve deeper into the remarkable precision of its solar alignment. The layout of the stones carefully aligned to mark key astronomical events such as the summer and winter solstice.
What's that? How do they know there were ley lines?
So a lot of people can naturally feel something. They feel disturbance in the force, if you will. You feel that ley line in the earth. You feel stronger energy. Like I'm sure there's had instances where you're walking along and all of a sudden you're like, "Whoa, something is here," and that can be a ley line. It can be a connection. I just looked up the ley lines of Stonehenge. It's like it's an intersection. It looks like an asterisk. I mean, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 ley lines that go through it.
No shit. Wow.
Yeah, it is a huge convergence of ley lines, but mostly you just feel it. Now you can dowse to discover ley lines, and I don't know if ancient people dowsed. Maybe it is an old practice, but you can dowse. If you don't know what dowsing is you hold 2 rods, sometimes sticks or metal rods, and then you just hold them real loose. And you let, if they just kind of jiggle there and then they might cross, that's usually a ley line. That people use it to indicate water, because water is also an energy conduit. So mostly I would guess it's instinct. And remember, people were a lot more connected to the earth than we are now.
Demonstrates an advanced understanding of celestial movements by its ancient builders. This alignment was not merely symbolic, it provided a practical tool for marking time and seasons, a critical necessity for agricultural societies. Accurately tracking the solstices would have allowed these early communities to determine the ideal times for planting and harvesting crops, ensuring their survival and prosperity throughout the year. Indeed, Stonehenge may have served as a communal gathering point where people could collectively celebrate the changing seasons, while aligning their agricultural and ceremonial activities with the rhythms of the natural world. Comparisons to other ancient solar calendars, such as the precise alignment of the pyramids in Egypt or the complex structures of Mesoamerican sites like Chichen Itza, reveal a shared global fascination with the cosmos. These civilizations, despite being separated by vast distances and cultures, all recognized the pivotal role of the sun in sustaining life and embedded this awareness into their monumental creations. At Stonehenge, the interplay of engineering and celestial knowledge underscores the sophistication of its builders, who not only shaped stone but also shaped their understanding of the world through the lens of the heavens. This enduring connection between the earth, the sky, and human ingenuity remains one of the most awe-inspiring aspects of Stonehenge, a structure that continues to bridge the ancient past and the mysteries of the cosmos. Now turning to the continuation of the intriguing theory of Stonehenge as an alien landing site, let us delve deeper into the arguments that fuel this controversial idea. Some proponents point to historical claims of unexplained aerial phenomena and unidentified flying objects in the region, suggesting a long-standing connection between the site and extraterrestrial activity. Reports of strange lights in the skies over Salisbury Plain, where Stonehenge is located, have circulated for centuries and continue to captivate those who believe in the possibility of otherworldly visitors. Adding to this narrative are ancient artworks and carvings found in various parts of the world that some interpret as depicting extraterrestrials or spacecraft. While not directly linked to Stonehenge, these images have been cited as potential evidence of early contact between humans and beings from beyond our planet. Skeptics, however, argue that such interpretations are speculative and lack concrete proof, emphasizing the need for critical examination of these claims. Still, the sheer precision of Stonehenge's construction raises questions about how its massive stones were transported and erected with the tools available during the Neolithic era. This technological challenge, combined with the enduring mystery of its purpose, leaves room for the imagination to wander. Could it be that an advanced civilization from another world provided assistance or guidance, imparting knowledge that shaped human history in ways we have yet to fully understand? While mainstream archaeology attributes the construction of Stonehenge to the ingenuity and determination of our ancestors, the tantalizing possibility of extraterrestrial involvement ensures that this theory remains a topic of fascination and debate. As we continue to ponder the origins and purpose of this monumental site, it serves as a reminder of just how much of our past still lies shrouded in mystery. Moving forward, let us delve deeper into the fascinating theory of sound healing resonance and how it might connect to the design and purpose of Stonehenge. Modern acoustical studies have revealed that the arrangement of the stones creates unique sound patterns, amplifying and reflecting certain frequencies within the circle. Researchers have observed that these specific acoustic properties could have been deliberately engineered to enhance the auditory experience of rituals or ceremonies held at the site. Some suggest that the echoes and reverberations produced when sounds were made within the circle could create an immersive, almost otherworldly auditory environment, deeply impacting the participants' senses. This idea aligns with what we know about sound healing practices, both ancient and modern. Sound has long been used in various cultures to achieve states of meditation, healing, or spiritual transcendence. Instruments like gongs, singing bowls, and chants are still employed today to produce vibrations believed to promote relaxation, reduce stress, and even influence physical well-being. Could the builders of Stonehenge have harnessed similar principles? The reflection and amplification of sound in this Neolithic structure might have intensified ceremonial chants or music, creating an experience that felt profound and transformative for those present. Furthermore, some researchers posit that specific frequencies could have triggered a psychological response, fostering a sense of unity or heightened awareness among participants. While definitive evidence of Stonehenge being used explicitly for sound-based rituals remains elusive, the acoustic properties of the site open intriguing possibilities about its role in ancient spiritual or healing practices. This interplay between architecture and acoustics not only highlights the ingenuity of its creators, but also deepens the enduring mystery of what Stonehenge truly meant to the people who built it. With these insights into the potential connection between sound and healing, it is clear that Stonehenge continues to resonate both literally and figuratively through the ages. Now turning to the continuation of the fascinating theory surrounding Stonehenge as a monument of unity, we begin to unravel the profound social and political implications embedded within its construction. Building such an extraordinary structure would have required immense levels of collaboration, not just among individuals, but likely between entire communities or tribes. The sheer scale of the endeavor suggests that it might have served as a unifying project, bringing together groups with varied skills, resources, and traditions to achieve a common goal. This act of cooperation could have fostered alliances, forging bonds that were essential for survival and mutual prosperity in a challenging and unpredictable world. The logistical feat of transporting enormous stones across great distances would not only have required advanced planning, but also a strong sense of shared purpose among the participants. This monumental task might even hint at the development of early governance structures, as such an organized effort would have demanded leadership, coordination, and the allocation of resources. Leaders may have emerged from within the communities, guiding the collaborative process and ensuring the success of the project. It is also possible that the creation of Stonehenge symbolized a shared cultural or spiritual identity, reinforcing a sense of belonging and unity. By contributing to the construction of such a prominent and enduring symbol, groups could have demonstrated their commitment to a larger collective, cementing their place within a broader community network. This communal effort might have also served to resolve conflicts or establish agreements, as the successful completion of Stonehenge would have required harmony and cooperation rather than discord. While there is no definitive evidence to conclusively prove that Stonehenge was created with the explicit goal of uniting diverse tribes, the collaborative nature of its construction undeniably speaks to a form of collective endeavor that is rare and remarkable for its time. As we consider the incredible effort required to build such a lasting monument, we are reminded that Stonehenge may not just represent an architectural achievement, but also a testament to human ingenuity, collaboration, and the enduring power of unity. Now turning to the continuation of the intriguing theory of Stonehenge as a map of the underworld, we delve deeper into how this interpretation resonates with ancient texts and oral traditions across various cultures. Some scholars suggest that the layout of the stones mirrors pathways or portals that symbolically connect the realms of the living and the dead. This idea gains further traction when examining stories passed down through generations, which often depict such sacred sites as bridges to otherworldly dimensions. For instance, in certain myths, circular structures were believed to represent cycles of life, death, and rebirth, aligning perfectly with Stonehenge's design. Comparisons can also be drawn to the Egyptian pyramids, monuments that were meticulously constructed to guide pharaohs into the afterlife. Much like Stonehenge, the pyramids feature specific alignments and architectural elements believed to facilitate the soul's journey. These parallels raise intriguing questions. Could Stonehenge have been intended as a ritualistic gateway for departing spirits, ensuring their safe passage into the next realm? Its proximity to other Neolithic sites, such as Durrington Walls, further strengthens this theory. Durrington Walls, often associated with the world of the living, stands in contrast to Stonehenge, which some interpret as its counterpart tied to the dead. Together, they may form a symbolic connection between life and the afterlife, reflecting a profound understanding of spiritual balance. While definitive proof remains elusive, the presence of burial mounds near Stonehenge adds weight to this perspective, suggesting that ancient peoples might have viewed the site as more than just a ceremonial space. Instead, they could have perceived it as a sacred map, guiding both the living in their rituals and the dead on their eternal voyage. With such thought-provoking possibilities in mind, we are left to wonder how much more might we uncover about the spiritual dimensions of this incredible monument. Now turning to the continuation of the theory that Stonehenge served as a celestial worship site, let us delve into the deep connections between the monument and ancient beliefs tied to the cosmos. The alignment of the stones with key astronomical events, such as the summer and winter solstices, has long suggested a strong link to solar and lunar cycles. This alignment might have allowed ancient priests or shamans to observe celestial phenomena and interpret them as messages from the gods. In many early societies, the movement of the sun, moon, and stars was viewed as a divine script, guiding decisions about planting, harvesting, and even conducting rituals. Stonehenge's design, with its precise orientation, could have amplified this belief, making it a sacred stage for interpreting celestial will. Some researchers speculate that rituals performed here were timed to correspond with specific astronomical events, lending the ceremonies an added layer of spiritual significance. The rising or setting sun might have represented rebirth or renewal, while the movements of the moon could have symbolized cycles of life and death. Similar practices have been observed in other ancient cultures, such as the Maya, who built monuments precisely aligned with celestial events to honor their deities. This raises fascinating questions. Did the builders of Stonehenge seek to connect with the divine through the heavens, believing that the alignment of the stones brought them closer to their gods? Perhaps they thought the site granted them insight into the universe's mysteries, offering a way to interpret omens or predict future events. Such a role would have elevated Stonehenge far beyond a mere architectural marvel, transforming it into a cosmic temple where the sacred and the celestial converge. As we consider this perspective, it becomes increasingly clear that the relationship between Stonehenge and the heavens is far more intricate than it first appears. Could the secrets of the skies have been the guiding force behind this incredible monument's construction? Now turning to the continuation of the theory that Stonehenge was a commemoration of the ancestors, we delve into the remarkable archaeological evidence that suggests this site was once a hub of large-scale feasting and gatherings. Excavations in the surrounding areas have uncovered animal bones and pottery fragments, pointing to grand ceremonies where communities came together. These feasts, likely held during significant times of the year, could have served as a way to honor the memory of their ancestors and pay homage to the spirits of the past. By sharing food, stories, and rituals, these gatherings may have strengthened social bonds and reinforced a sense of collective identity among the attendees. Imagine the scene of hundreds, if not thousands, of people assembling near the iconic stones, united by the belief that they were connecting with their lineage. The sheer scale of these events also highlights the importance of Stonehenge as more than just a physical monument. It was a cultural and spiritual focal point. The act of feasting and celebrating together might have symbolized the continuity of life, linking the living with their ancestors and ensuring their legacy endured. For many ancient societies, the idea of remembering and venerating those who came before was deeply intertwined with their sense of purpose and place in the world. Could it be that Stonehenge was not only a site of reverence, but also a place where shared ceremonies gave meaning to life cycles? Such gatherings would have turned Stonehenge into a timeless bridge between the past and the present, binding generations in a shared narrative of respect and remembrance. This perspective offers a profound lens through which to view the monument, one where the stones themselves become silent witnesses to rituals affirming the deep-seated connection between humanity and its ancestral roots. As we wrap up this journey through the 15 mind-bending theories about Stonehenge, it becomes abundantly clear that this ancient monument is far more than an arrangement of massive stones. Each theory we've explored offers a unique lens, deepening the intrigue and expanding our understanding of what Stonehenge might have represented. From being an astronomical observatory or a healing center to a sacred burial site or even a portal to the afterlife, the possibilities seem almost as infinite as time itself. Some theories challenge our perception of human ingenuity, while others stretch the boundaries of imagination, venturing into realms of extraterrestrial involvement or mystical energy. What remains undeniable is that Stonehenge continues to captivate both scholars and the general public like few other historical sites can. Its mystery endures, inviting us to question, explore, and wonder. So now, we turn the question to you. What do you think Stonehenge was truly meant for? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed uncovering the...
All right, I'm going with a multi-purpose site that, temple and like all that stuff probably had to do with astrology and channeling energy and all that stuff. And, ritual and ceremony and things like that.
Yeah, I think the healing properties are definitely a reason for its construction. Because, I mean, even if aliens made it, it's like, why did they need it for anything? I think it was a gift, maybe.
Yeah.
And so most of these sites, or a lot of these sites, are gathering places. This isn't where people lived. They came here to do something, maybe once a year, maybe several times a year. But I also think that like these sites, it's not just to gather for spiritual purposes or healing or whatever. It's also to to trade news between, villages perhaps, but also to meet mates, to meet spouses, because if you're in a little tiny village and stuff, or if you're in a small family group, you can't, you have to go outside of that. But these gathering places provided a mixture of people so they could find spouses and maybe, like I said, trade goods, all the other things. But so, yeah, that's one of the reasons why these things were so significant, because people didn't live in cities. They lived in little groups and they would travel to this, like Burning Man. They'd all show up and do their thing,
Right. Cool. All right. We got a couple more videos. The
2
next couple
ones, I
are pretty short.
Yeah.
The next one we're going to do is the Montana one, I think.
Yeah. This is like, remember last week we were looking at the molded stones?
Yes.
They have a site, this is only one of a few in America. We have several of these in America, but this is like the same kind of technology, but it's in Montana. People think, oh, all this megalithic shit, it's Europe, it's Asia. No. We have it here too. So that's what these next 2 little videos are about.
That's crazy. Ooh. So creepy.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like we're going to see Bigfoot in any second. The fuck is that?
A slit. Magnetic.
Yo, the rocks are magnetic.
Deep in the remote mountainous wilderness of Montana in the United States, we find this remarkable structure known as the Sage Wall. This imposing megalithic wonder is composed of massive polygonal granite stone blocks intricately stacked and aligned in a perfectly straight line that extends up to 275 feet in length, which is around 84 meters, although it's believed that it extends additionally underground. Its height reaches up to 25 feet or 8 meters, with the largest of the stone blocks weighing 91 tons. In fact, it is believed that the structure continues an additional 15 feet beneath the ground, making it around 40 feet tall if fully excavated. The wall's unique features, such as its straight lines and angular formations, set it apart from the natural geological formations commonly found in the region. The granite stone blocks appear as if they were cut, stacked, and pieced together like a puzzle, with each block interlocking with the next one. It's known that granite does not split into 90-degree consistent corners and angles, which made many researchers believe this could be some sort of prehistoric megalithic structure. The reason you've likely never come across or heard of the Sage Wall is due to its location on private land, rendering it virtually unknown to the scientific community. The landowners themselves, Christopher Borton and Linda Welsh, were unaware of the wall's presence for many years. Nestled on a mountainside, the wall was concealed by a dense canopy of fallen trees and thick foliage that had covered it for centuries, if not millennia. This natural camouflage made the wall nearly impossible to detect, especially since very few people had ever set foot in the area. The site of the Sage Wall was first discovered relatively recently.
Wow.
It came to light when the landowners decided to clear a portion of their property that had been heavily forested and covered with dense foliage for centuries. As they began clearing the fallen trees and thick underbrush on the side of the mountain, they stumbled upon the wall-like structure. This accidental discovery revealed the previously hidden and virtually unknown Sage Wall, prompting further investigation and interest from both the landowners and the scientific community. The wall's precise interlocking stones bore a striking resemblance to ancient polygonal masonry found in other parts of the world, such as the megalithic walls in Peru, Egypt, Turkey, Greece, Easter Island, Japan, and many other places around the globe. Does this mean that the Sage Wall of Montana
what's
is one of the many
interesting?
prehistoric megalithic sites?
What's interesting, Jennifer?
What's interesting, Karlyn, is that all of these old megalithic walls or structures I would say they're of the same era because of the irregularity of the shapes of these stones. Everything from everything from like the Sumerian cultures and above all had, like, they figured out how to make clay bricks, and they stacked things in a very, as we have staggered size normative way. And these, though, everything about them, they all look the same. They're all very irregular. Some are huge, some are little. They're all puzzle pieced together. It's of the same era. There was something going on back then. I'm telling you, man.
I don't disagree.
Destroyed thousands of years ago by an ancient cataclysm. Of course, most people dismissed the site as a natural formation. But how could this be a mere natural formation when it's clearly seen that the wall is perfectly straight-lined? We know that a common feature of the megalithic stone walls around the world is the mysterious knobs on the surface of the stones. All of the megalithic ancient sites around the world have these knobs, whether you're in Peru, Egypt, India, China, or elsewhere, and no one knows their real purpose. If the Sage Wall of Montana was indeed a man-made creation, would we not see the same knobs on the stone blocks? Interestingly, Michael Collins, the host of the remarkable YouTube channel Wandering Wolf, who documents many ancient sites around the world, visited the Sage Wall and was surprised to discover that, like in those other megalithic sites around the world, the Sage Wall also possessed numerous knobs in different sizes on different parts of the wall.
So walking up right on the trail, another what looks like knob.
How can these knobs be a natural formation? And what are the odds for the same type of knobs to be found on granite blocks, fitted in the same way as the other ancient megalithic walls on the globe? But the knobs weren't the only strange thing noted by Michael.
But
he
you know
found
what
that
about
all
that?
across the area there are large channels.
What about that is that those knobs are not inserted into the rock. They were not added to the rock. The rock was sculpted and left that knob.
Yeah.
It would have had to have been worn down, don't you think?
Yes. That's weird. Wall penises. Exactly.
And additional walls, all made of tightly fitted and perfectly cut stone blocks, and all aligned in exact straight lines. It was as if this entire place was a prehistoric complex with various structures that have now collapsed and eroded. He also showcased stones that seemed to be artificially modified, like this one, for example, which resembles a granite piece from Karnak, Egypt, with a square cut, a channel, and a circle. Although the Sage Wall piece is extremely eroded and barely visible, it's clearly seen that these cuts and grooves are artificially made. And above Sage Wall, we can see these straight, smooth form chutes that flow down the side of a mountain. They appear like polished concrete and could have been used as water channels. There were also numerous stones with a variety of round cavities on their surface, known as cup marks. Ancient cup marks, also known as cupules, are among the oldest forms of rock art, dating back to prehistoric times, and can be found in various locations around the world. Their exact purpose is unknown, although the prevailing hypothesis is that they had practical uses, such as grinding or processing food and materials. In our documentary on the Kaimanawa Wall of New Zealand, which is another supposed prehistoric structure built by an unknown civilization, we showed you another interesting discovery of a stone with cup mark. And if you compare the cup marks found in Montana with the marks on this large 125-ton stone block from Sacsayhuaman, Peru, we can find another similarity between these ancient sites. Additionally, there are areas like this that look like someone carved out the rock. Does this seem like a natural formation?
That's so weird.
Michael Collins discovered numerous more anomalies on the site, which he documented in several videos. We left a link to his video on Sage Wall in the description below, so make sure to watch it and subscribe to his channel. As the popularity and mystery of the site became viral, in parts thanks to Michael, the owners of the land, Christopher Borton and Linda Welsh, organized a team of scientists, geologists, and archaeologists to study the site using ground-penetrating radar, magnetic susceptibility testing, soil sample testing, and future plans for the use of LiDAR. Although the studies are still underway, what was initially revealed was fascinating. First, they noticed that the granite blocks exhibit a remarkable level of magnetism, which is extremely unusual for granite. They showed how magnets can effectively stick to the vertical walls, demonstrating the high magnetic pull of the site. Additionally, the initial results of the ground-penetrating radar discovered another strange anomaly. It appears that the wall continues 15 feet below the ground, and there, right in front of the wall, there's a perfectly flat foundation, which is highly unlikely to be a natural formation. The site also caught the attention of Dr. Semir Osmanagic, the Bosnian-American scientist who is known for his discovery of the Bosnian Pyramid, which many consider the largest and oldest pyramid in the world.
Wow.
We have an entire documentary on the
Holy
Bosnian
shit.
Pyramid, so
Oh my
make sure to
God.
watch it for more details.
We're like, no, it's just a mountain.
Dr. Osman
Yeah,
Agic
okay.
traveled all the way to Montana to conduct research on the Sage Wall and concluded that the site is most likely man-made. What's more, he noticed that the megalithic wall is perfectly oriented to face the winter solstice.
Of course it
Oh,
is.
This was a
naturally,
very
yeah.
interesting discovery,
Wow.
as we know that many ancient megalithic sites are indeed oriented towards solstices, equinoxes, and other significant astronomical events.
In the summer solstice, it is southwest, winter northwest. And this is the orientation of this wall. Northwest, southeast, meaning it is oriented towards the winter solstice.
Dr. Semir Osmanagic also stated that the wall was probably built before the end of the last ice age, which is about 11,700 years ago. After determining that the weight of the heaviest stone at the site was 91 tons, he concluded that whoever built this structure must have possessed some kind of advanced technology lost in time. If we look at a pre-Younger Dryas glacial map of North America, the strategic significance of the Sage Wall becomes evident. It's located exactly on the migration route between Asia and North America, when during the Ice Age the sea levels were so low that they connected the continents by a land bridge. Scientists once theorized that the ancestors of today's Native Americans reached North America by walking across this land bridge and made their way southward by following passages in the ice.
Yeah.
And if we look at this map showing the Cordilleran ice sheet and the Laurentide ice sheet that covered North America about 11,000 years ago, we see that the Sage Wall is located right between the two. This crucial position is flanked by 3 major rivers leading to 3 different oceans, making it an unparalleled hub for movement and resources. And it's now known that the area around Sage Wall is very rich in all kinds of different mineral deposits. In fact, the largest quartz crystal in Montana was also discovered here, and currently resides in the Mineral Museum at the Montana Bureau of Mines and Geology in Butte.
Yeah.
Is the Sage Wall's strategically vital location just a coincidence? Or was it an essential prehistoric site for early human occupation and activity? Even if one were to argue that the Sage Walls were formed naturally through volcanic activity, it is undeniable that their location is exceptionally convenient. If the wall is that ancient, that means that it withstood the cataclysmic events caused by the Younger Dryas impact, including the devastating Missoula floods, which were a series of fierce glacial outburst floods that raced across the landscape at speeds up to 80 miles per hour. Estimates suggest that the floodwaters reached heights of up to 400 feet, about 120 meters, as they surged through certain areas. It's a wonder that the Sage Wall even survived this impact. One theory suggests that the buildup of dirt and sediment along the backs of the wall was caused by the flood dirt that accumulated there. But if Sage Wall really is part of a massive prehistoric megastructure that served a vital role before the end of the last ice age, wouldn't we find more megalithic sites in the area? Well, take a look at this map, which shows the distribution of numerous strange sites and out-of-place artifacts near the Sage Wall. One of the most interesting sites in the vicinity is the Tizer Dolmen. This supposed dolmen is located in a very remote and inaccessible area that doesn't even have cell phone coverage. The site was also extensively covered by Michael Collins from Wandering Wolf, as well as Dr. Samir Osmanagich. A dolmen is a type of single-chamber megalithic tomb, typically consisting of 2 or more vertical stones, called orthostats, supporting a large flat horizontal capstone, or table. These structures are prehistoric and are found in many parts of the world, with a high concentration in Europe, Asia, and Africa. Notable examples include the Punabron Dolmen in Ireland and the Dolmen de Menga in Spain. The Tizer Dolmen consists of large flat stones arranged in a table-like formation, similar to other dolmens found around the world. The structure features a massive horizontal capstone resting on 2 or more vertical stones.
You know what they say about those?
Creating a small chamber beneath.
One of the theories is that, especially in Europe, the European dolmens are actually the grave markers of giants.
Really? Wouldn't they be able to find the graves of the giants, though, if that was real?
If their bones survive, sure. But they're like, the giants built these over the graves of their fallen brethren.
Huh.
I think there's rumors that they have found giant skeletons, but every time someone says they found a giant skeleton, it's always debunked. So who knows?
Yep.
The design of the Tizer Dolmen closely resembles other ancient
That's
dolmens.
Crazy. That's
Dr.
crazy
Osmanagich noted that when granite stone breaks naturally, it typically fractures horizontally due to sedimentation processes. However, at the Tizer Dolmen, the stones break vertically, which does not occur naturally. This discrepancy suggests that the stones were originally formed in horizontal layers. He believes that by observing the small breaks on the stones, we can determine that the gray granite stones were initially part of a horizontal sedimentation process before they were moved and reoriented 90 degrees to form this vertical structure. Additionally, a massive capstone has been precisely placed on top of these vertical stones. It is highly improbable that natural forces could have rolled this large block from a higher elevation and positioned it so accurately atop the vertical stones. The precise placement and orientation of these stones imply the intervention of intelligent hands rather than random natural occurrences. Michael Collins, on the other hand, noted that around the site, just like with the Sage Wall, he found numerous holes, strange linear marks on the stones, together with this large scoop mark. There were also a variety of knobs on the stones, indicating man-made design. In fact, it seemed that the entire structure was balanced upright by a knob at its base. Without this knob, the structure would likely collapse. If you visit MontanaMegaliths.com, created by researcher Julie Ryder, you can find a large collection of photographs of strange megalithic sites that many believe are not natural. We found numerous pictures of a variety of different domes, together with this picture of a large scoop mark on the granite. With everything we shared so far supporting the theory that the structure is indeed man-made, we won't be objective without showing you the arguments for the opposing theory that the site is just a natural formation. Author, explorer, and filmmaker Timothy Alberino conducted an in-depth field analysis of Sage Wall and made some compelling arguments about why the structure is not man-made, but a geological formation. He stated that the crevices we see on the wall are natural, as they start from the base and go all the way to the top of the wall, following a natural path.
Not all of them,
Look
though.
at this crevice. You'll see
Just
that,
that one.
there's natural fissuring in the rock. And this fissuring starts from here, and it goes all the way up to the top of the wall.
I found one
so
example.
we can clearly see that the fissuring
Yeah.
is,
He's like,
is
"It's all
following
like
a
this
natural
now."
path.
How
His
human
argument
beings are.
dismisses the man-made theory, because if the wall was man-made, then the creators of the wall wouldn't align the blocks along a straight path. Instead, they would offset and stagger the blocks to interlock them, which provides the wall with structural integrity. Of course, there's the possibility that the fissuring occurred after the blocks were placed, meaning that it's possible for the wall to have originally consisted of larger, intact blocks, and the fissuring developed later as the wall began to erode. Additionally, unlike other megalithic sites around the world, there is a notable absence of cultural artifacts, such as tools, pottery, or other signs of human activity, in the vicinity of the Sage Wall. This lack of evidence for human intervention supports the argument that the wall is a natural formation rather than an ancient man-made structure. Geologists studying the Sage Wall propose that it was formed through natural volcanic and tectonic activities. The intense geological forces in the region could have caused the rock to crack and split, creating the appearance of a constructed wall. Over time, these natural processes would have continued to shape and define the wall's current structure. The natural origins theory was further supported by an in-depth analysis of the site by geologist Dr. Stuart Parker, who was featured in a video by the Incredible History Channel. There, Dr. Parker explained how the knobs we see on the rock are also formed naturally. This process occurs when softer parts of the rock erode faster than harder sections, leaving behind the more resistant material as protruding knobs. In conclusion, we can't confirm that the Sage Wall in Montana is a man-made construction, but at the same time, we can't deny it with full certainty also. Whatever the case, what's undeniable is that this gigantic site in the middle of nowhere is a remarkable place to visit. And if you want to visit it for yourself, you can reach out to sagemountain.org and book your visit to the site.
I want to go.
We'll leave a link in the description
Yeah.
below.
I've never been to Montana. I would actually love to go. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I've never been there either.
Cool.
We'll take my new fancy camper and go.
Yeah, we should definitely do that. All right, last video for tonight.
Woohoo!
This was only 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to watch it because you were telling us about this Serpent Mount thing a couple weeks ago, Jennifer.
Yeah. It's there are, I want to say hundreds, but that's probably an exaggeration, of ancient archaeological Native American sites all over the countries, specifically in the north. And I'm wondering if that's just because in the south things might tend to erode and disappear into the, humidity more, into the bogs of the south. I don't know. No, there are sites down there as well, but there's all kinds of places that they've been unearthing in America where it's big amphitheaters and settlements, and they found one that was like a city that was miles long of where people lived or gathered. It was like a giant trading post kind of a thing. So I mean, people say, oh, they were just little hunter gatherers that didn't do anything, which they said about mankind across the globe. I think humanity deserves a little more credit for being organized and intelligent and sacred. So, and this is one of my favorite features in America, and this is in Ohio.
Cool.
Southern Ohio. I might actually get to go see it when I move to Tennessee. It's not that far away.
I want to see pictures of it.
Yeah, it's not that far away, so.
Let's see. Look at this.
Yeah.
Hello
Chris
everybody,
lives a ton in
and
Florida.
welcome to Ancient Architects. Please subscribe now to get the latest ancient history news and independent research from around the world. Thanks to the recent book by Graham Hancock, America Before, ancient North America has become a popular line of study and a growing interest for many. There is still a huge amount we do not know, and new excavations are bringing forth new finds all the time that show that humanity has occupied this part of the world for many thousands of years. And if you believe the claims in my recent video on the Saruti Mastodon site, then human civilization in North America could be tens of thousands of years old. Chuck on the CF App 7865 channel has an incredible series of videos on ancient North America, where he details dozens of sites that many will never have heard of, including ancient mounds, pyramidal structures and more. I would urge you to visit his channel, which is linked below in the description. Of course, many of you will know that the famous Younger Dryas event greatly affected North America, I believe more than any other continent, with a huge megafaunal extinction. As the Younger Dryas boundary layer, a sedimentary layer that records the event, is very deep in the earth in many parts of the continent, finding remains from before this time are very rare, and are usually only uncovered during new building projects with deep foundations. But what we are finding is that the people of ancient North America were more sophisticated than many people used to think, and arguably the most famous monument in this part of the world, known as the Great Serpent Mound, is evidence of such sophisticated knowledge. The rest of this video is one that I created around 2 years ago, but with very little views because my channel was somewhat small back then, and as this video is now lost in a multitude of videos on the subject of lost ancient civilizations, I do believe it deserves to be republished to reach a larger audience. Chuck from the CF App 7865 channel did comment back on the original video saying, there was a culture who put these snake effigies all over the ancient US. The alignments I question, just because with something with so many curves, you could find an alignment with anything. So that's something to bear in mind, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please do comment below. The Great Serpent of America is a 1,348 foot long, 3 foot high prehistoric effigy mound located in Ohio, North America. It has been designated a National Historic Landmark by the US Department of Interior and is one of the most mysterious monuments in North America. It is the largest serpent effigy in the world and was first reported from surveys published in the 1848 book Ancient
crazy.
Monuments of the Mississippi Valley. Carbon dating at the site conducted in 2014 has dated it to around 300 BC, suggesting it was built during the Adena period. The serpent conforms to the curve of the land on which it rests, with its head approaching a cliff above a stream. It winds back and forth for more than 800 feet and is composed of 7 coils, ending in a triple coiled tail. The shape itself consists mostly of a layer of yellowish clay and ash that was reinforced with a layer of rock and then covered with a layer of soil. The serpent head has a wide open mouth, extending around the east end of a 120 foot long hollow oval feature, which some believe portrays the snake eating an egg, whilst others believe the oval is in fact representing the sun. Although radiocarbon dating has been conducted, the identity of the builders, the dating of the original design, and the original layout of the construction are all debated. The evidence for it being an Adena site is relatively slim, with just a couple of carbon dates from a small excavation that place it around 300 BC. But people of that age in the Ohio Valley were not known for building large earthworks, even though they did hold snakes in high regard, as shown by the numerous copper serpentine pieces associated with them. But what is the Serpent Mound portraying? Like every mysterious ancient site, there are a variety of theories. Nearby Edina period graves lead some people to believe the earthwork served a mortuary function, and that was the principal nature of this site, directing spirits of the dead from burial mounds and subsurface graves northward, not a place to conduct large ceremonial gatherings, as tourist boards suggest. In 1987, Clark and Marjorie Hardman published their findings that the oval to head area of the Serpent is actually aligned to the summer solstice sunset. William F. Romaine has also suggested an array of lunar alignments based on the curves in the effigy's body. Researchers Fletcher and Cameron also convincingly argued that the Serpent Mound coils were aligned to the 2 solstice and 2 equinox events every year. So, far from being just a simple ceremonial centre or a site of esoteric rituals for the dead, if the Serpent Mound was designed in such a way to mark both lunar and solar events, it would have high importance. A monument that consolidates a huge amount of astronomical knowledge into one enormous symbol. Interestingly, the mound is located on the site of a 5-mile wide ancient meteorite impact structure. In its centre, the sedimentary rock has been uplifted several hundred feet, similar to what we see on moon craters such as the famous Copernicus. Core samples from the site have been analysed, and experts from the University of Glasgow date the impact event to around 250 million years ago. Even though much of the topographic expression of the impact has been lost, it is one of the few ancient impact structures known in North America. But did the ancient Americans know this, or is it a mere coincidence that an astronomically aligned structure was built here? One of the Earth's rarest elements, iridium, which is strongly associated with impact events, can be found at the site in abundance. But as there appears to be no other elements associated with impact events, some researchers, such as Mike Hansen, a retired geologist from Ohio, thinks that natural shifts in the Earth's crust cause the geological features. Around the time of the rock's formation, according to Hansen, Africa was pushing into North America, a major tectonic event that would have created the geological chaos seen today in the area. Either way, the Serpent Mound's astronomical alignments cannot be questioned. Researcher Ross Hamilton has gone a stage further, and has found out that as well as solar and lunar alignments, the shape of the structure fits the constellation Draco with fair precision, with the ancient pole star, Thuban or Alpha Draconis, at its geographical centre, sitting within the first of the 7 coils from the head. Along the length of the Serpent Mound, every star of the Draco constellation falls on the mound, apart from one, the pole star, Thuban. Taking a steel compass and map of the mound, Hamilton drew a perfect circle with Thuban at the centre, and the outer edge of the coiled tail as the perimeter, and he found that the entire monument was encompassed inside this circle. It neatly encompasses both the triangular mound in front of the sun egg that the serpent is devouring, and the outermost spiral of the coiled tail. As Thuban was the centre of the circle created by the Serpent Mound, Hamilton believes that the mound was designed to refer to the epoch during which Thuban was the pole star, the centre of the night sky mirrored on the ground. Based on the changing position of Draco in the night sky and calculations based on the precession of the equinoxes, Hamilton has pushed the date of the earthwork back to approximately 3000 BC. This, of course, is at odds with archaeological dating methods. But interestingly, archaeologists did produce one radiocarbon date of 1000 BC. Too late for Thuban being the pole star, but certainly earlier than mainstream archaeological interpretation. So, if the astronomical alignments are not coincidental, was the monument built in 3000 BC when Thuban was the pole star, or was it constructed by a later culture to commemorate the time before? Did the later cultures simply adapt this more ancient structure? Whatever the truth, there is one more incredible observation by Hamilton that indicates the builders of the Great Serpent Mound had advanced mathematical and astronomical knowledge. Look at this picture of the Great Circle of Precession. When you overlay the Serpent Mound onto this circle, lining up the stars of Draco, as mentioned previously, the centre of this precessional circle lines up with the coiled tail of the Great Serpent Mound. Another coincidence? Or does this therefore show us that the builders encoded the precessional cycle into the Serpent Mound by building a spiral in exactly the right place? I think so. and I think that this is advanced knowledge of the heavens and an astonishing discovery by Hamilton. The coiled tail is designed perfectly to imply a spiraling motion, and the direction of the tail's coil implies a serpent emerging from the center point of the coil in a counterclockwise direction, the same direction that the celestial North Pole moves around the center of the precessional ring. Researchers of the ancient world often bypass ancient North America in favour of cultures involving more impressive megalithic monuments. But as the Great Serpent Mound shows, this part of the world was just as advanced as any other in ancient times, and I'm sure many more secrets are just waiting to be discovered. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Ancient Architects.
Isn't that cool?
That's cool.
There's so many interesting things in our own backyard. I mean, you don't have to go to Turkey or Peru necessarily to find interesting shit.
I had no idea stuff like that was in America.
Oh, yeah, there's lots of it.
Dang. All right. Well, Jennifer, we've done 2 full weeks on these big rock sites now. I mean, I'm convinced that was a lot. I had no idea there were that many, honestly.
That's not even the fraction of what's out there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There's
more evidence for Lumeria, after all.
Lumeria, Atlantis, anybody in between, yeah, and any other, maybe other astrological societies that were with us at the time. Who knows?
Dang. Well, cool. That was fascinating. I appreciate you putting together 2 weeks of programming for us. And I do want to do the Younger Dryas, too, because I want to know more about that. So maybe I'll do that next week.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, I think it would help. It would tie in a lot of stuff. And it's also like something that you will hear frequently when looking at ancient society stuff, because it's been coming up. Yeah.
Cool. I'm definitely going to check out that thing on Netflix, too. What was it? Ancient Apocalypse?
Yeah, Ancient Apocalypse by Graham Hancock. It's really amazing. And that will take your head will spin with how many things he's going to show you.
Well, I've got all this data entry to do now with like the Center for Left Wing Studies that I've been having just like I haven't watched TV in years. And so I've been going back and watching like I like royal things, and there's like royal series on Stars. So I've been going back and watching like the Serpent Queen and stuff like that because I always thought it looked cool, but I never actually watched it. Now I'm like, so I like having something on, so that'll be good.
Oh yeah, it's something fun, something brain food play.
Right on. Well, I guess like that is. We don't have any more videos. We watched like 5 videos tonight, so we are videoed out.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little numb actually.
Me too. I need to go get a snack or something.
Yes.
Do you have any other announcements or anything, Jennifer?
You know, let me look at movie night stuff. I was thinking about it earlier today, and I got hung up on other things, so I'm not even sure what's going on with movie night here. I know I have something. I always do.
What is it? Is it? It's not back to school next week, is it?
Well, no. I think you know what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do a poll of Caddyshack, Revenge of the Nerds, and Animal House.
I think that sounds good.
Yeah, and then after that, I've got 3 other movie suggestions, including Back to School, which I know you never get what you want. You never get to watch the movies that you want, and I never listen to you. But if I can find it, then maybe let me see, where are we in August here? What day is it? It's the 5th.
You need to watch this movie because you haven't seen it, and I am quite frankly shocked that you have not seen this movie. This is like there is no other option. We are watching this fucking movie, Jennifer. I am pulling a whatever rank that I have, being that it's my fucking Discord. You are watching this. Jennifer has not seen Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. Like, are you kidding me? No, you need to see this movie.
I think I had a problem with it being like the big man baby man child thing. Like that's one of the problems I had with Billy Madison. So I'm like, this is so fucking stupid.
It's not exactly that though.
It's not. But he doesn't he go back to college like really late in life? And
he's very successful in life, but he goes back to college because his son wants to leave college and he wants to prove that it's a good idea. Also, Robert Downey Jr.'s in it when he's very young. Yeah.
Aww.
He's the friend. He's the son's friend. He's the son's weird friend.
Okay, so let me do this poll, and then after that, so we have 5 Sundays in August. So after that, then I my other 2 movies for suggestions are 16 Candles and The Graduate. So let's see.
I'm so excited. I want to watch The Graduate. I love The Graduate.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. Well, and it's that movie that started Dustin Hoffman's womanizing reputation that he then, when he played Tootsie, the gender swap role, he was like, I can't believe what an asshole I've been. Like, being a woman made him a better man. Oh my God. So yeah, so I'll throw that poll up tonight. I'll do that right when we're done here. So go vote in the poll, which you will find in Karlyn's supporter Discord. And vote, man. I'll put it up and I'll at everyone and it'll all be and then
Vote
Mac
in the poll.
Vote in the poll, and the Mac B. Mac B has where am me?
I feel like I did Mac B dirty last night because I forgot to announce his movie night because I was writing. It was one of those things where I looked up, I was writing, it's 10 o'clock. Oh, okay.
Oh, whoops. Yeah.
My bad. Yeah,
well, I mean, if you're not used to the fact that we have movie nights on Sunday and Monday by now, I mean, what are you doing with your life?
That's kind of like what I think, but I feel like, still responsible. So I apologize for that, Mac B. Sorry.
Cool. Looks like he has Machete.
Ooh.
Isn't that Danny Trejo? I think Machete. I think that's Danny Trejo. I love him. He's fabulous. So yeah, I'm stoked. So we'll see if we'll pump that. Oh, Mac B said hi, Mac. All right, cool. All right, good. Well, that wraps it up for me for now. Other than
awesome.
Look what I have in my hot little hands. Oh
yes, the Seed Bearer, the DISENRAGE inspired book.
Yep.
The House of the Golden Bed.
There is a chapter in here called that. Get your naughty on with some hot alien peen.
I love it.
I had a really lovely compliment. A reader messaged me yesterday and told me that they have not been this invested in a book since they read Game of Thrones. And I was like,
awesome.
You don't read a lot, do you? But I thought it was really cool. I was like, oh, yay.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. I guess it's striking a chord. It's a male reader too. Most of my readers are female. So he really digs it.
Cool.
So
right on. Well, Jennifer's a great writer. Go buy some erotic fiction from Jennifer.
Indeed.
Awesome.
I shall corrupt you in any way possible.
Yeah, you still got to write the demon Algoth erotic fiction with the love triangle.
Yeah, as soon as I get settled, I have about 6 books on my list that I'm getting ready to write. So that'll make number 7. But I think that would be a fun little novella.
I have so many fucking books I want to write. Like, now that I'm back, like, I had to take my brain needed a break from book writing after I broke myself writing 4 books. But now that I'm back in it, I'm like, I have like 15 fucking books in my head, like literally right now. And I'm coming up with new books all the time.
Yeah.
It's so... It's so crazy. It's like when we were at the reenactment, like they have all these stores with like, like all these books about like old time things and how to make all the clothes and stuff like that. And I was looking at these books. I was like, you can really write a fucking book literally about anything, and there will be an audience for it somewhere. And it's like it can be the most niche little random thing, like buttons of the Revolutionary War, or
totally.
like there are people that are like, holy shit, this is the best book ever made.
People collect everything and they want literature and to learn about it and why it's significant. I mean, it's true. Very irons, how people dyed clothes all throughout all humanity. I mean, there's all kinds of anything.
All the different threads. Like, it's just like you can like buy books about anything. You write books about anything. It's just crazy. Which I know is like kind of seems like duh, you can write books about anything, but it's like,
but would people buy it? Apparently so.
Yeah, I mean, it's that, and it's also just like, I don't know, it's just kind of like a cool thing that like we have the ability to just, create these like little niche things that maybe people don't even know about these things until someone takes the time to like write about it, and then you're like, holy shit, I had no idea about this.
Oh,
it's just crazy.
I never understood like stamp collecting. People like collect stamps. I'm like, why? But then as I've gotten older, it's like, wow, that really is preserving history.
Yeah.
And buttons actually told a lot about somebody's status in society when, and what culture they're from, a part of the world. I mean, it's very interesting. Speaking of archaeology, I mean, it's very interesting stuff, but yeah, it's crazy.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to go get to some book writing, Jennifer. Thank you for another awesome week of DISENRAGE. We'll be back next week at 9 p.m. on Tuesday, same time, same place.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.